Hello and welcome to Star Trek Morpheus.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Star Trek Morpheus. I'm Pete. In a moment we'll go around and everyone will say who they are and who they're playing or what they're doing here. But before we do...
I'm Bez. I'm just here to play the tambourine and dance.
Cool. Before we do, please don't forget to go and check out our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Join us on Discord. The Map Chat crew are doing a June challenge for procedurally generated dungeons, so that should be fun. So join us on there and have a look at that.
As in June, like the setting?
No, it's in the month of June
that
is about to happen. Sorry.
My version sounded cooler.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So if you're, watching this, the month that today has started.
Yes. Yes.
Information correct at time of recording.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Captain.
Precise is correct as 2014.
What? Anyway, we also have a Patreon. Thank you to our wonderful people who support us to help us get all the kit, equipment, all the games and dice and all that stuff. Thank you for your support. It's very much appreciated. I have just released a free, well, it's not quite free. It's free to patrons. Dark fantasy role-playing game called Grimdark. It's a 4-page D12 based role-playing game. And there's a nice sword on the front and stuff, which you can see if you go to the Patreon. That will be released free on Free RPG Day, which is the 15th of June. I got that wrong on the last show. I said 25th. It's the 15th. Mm-hmm. So there's that to look out for. I'm also working on another adventure location, and there's loads of stuff on there. I'm about to do episode 3 of Pete's Playbook as well, which is my Patreon-only podcast, Pete's Playbook. Lots of P's. I don't know why I decided to do that. It's really silly. Anyway.
Elocution lessons.
Please also go and check out the Thornless Rose, our friends and sponsors. They are doing awesome D20 dice bags, which I've now put mine together. These are... Hey! My tailoring skills are second to everyone. It's got dice in it and everything. So, yeah, they're really cool. Leather, laser... No, they're not laser cut. They're hand cut. D20 dice bags. There's a kit that you get with all the things you need to make them. And there's a Kickstarter going on. There's a link below. There's also a link to their Facebook page where you can see all their other stuff, from LARP equipment to dice trays and all kinds of things. They will have been at UK Games Expo at time of recording as well, handing out flyers for Card Black Games, because I can't make it this year. Thank you, Rose, for doing that.
Dan's going. He can do it for you.
They got shipped to her house, so you can't, Dan. Sorry, I know how much you wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
If Dan's going anyway, you can just pass
I was really looking forward to that rather than a time off from the kids.
Okay. Also, check out our other shows. We've got loads of them. Vostok's Chance, the Scion show, On the Edge of the Emperor's Light, our Dark Heresy show, and The Dark of the Cage, Dungeons and Dragons Planescape show, and then we've got a back catalogue as well, and you can go and check that all out on the channel. If you are on YouTube, please go check out our podcast. If you're listening on our podcast, with our awesome special effects that we often do on Star Trek, please go and check out YouTube as well. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you get all the notifications. I think that's everything. I'm trying to do that quicker these days, so that we can get into the game.
You're definitely talking quicker.
Yes. So, that's all I have to say.
Wonderful. Well, I'm Adam. I'm running said game of Star Trek Adventures on Star Trek Morpheus.
I'm Sam. I'm playing Dr. Kren, the ship's medical officer, and various supporting characters at the moment because she's busy.
Hello, I'm Keith. I'm playing the captain of the USS Enterprise G. And he has currently spent less time in command of this ship than anybody else.
I've not been in command yet. You're still doing better than me.
You can have a go later.
So it's that kind of command structure. We're going to take it in turns.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm playing the Vulcan security officer, Zelvok.
Hi, I'm Pete, and I'm playing Griot Tovon, Lieutenant Commander Griot Tovon, the Cardassian science officer who's temporarily in command of the USS Enterprise.
Did that sound good, just saying?
It did. There's a Cardassian in charge of the Enterprise.
On purpose.
Legally. Yeah.
Well, so you think.
It's a bit of a long scam.
Yeah. It's a long con.
He has been
been like
playing
30
the long
years.
game.
So far we've had quite a few a significant amount of combat and fighting happening around the new Deep Space Nine Emissary Testament, where a bunch of strange Jem'Hadar snuck aboard, hid the place, did a bunch of planting and things, and then there was threatening to blow up the station, and then there was a fight where the captain died a bit.
It's all right. It got better.
There was a shape-shifting Jem'Hadar who managed to escape. There was a couple of ships that turned up to try to help him escape, but instead
They went away.
they got blown up by lots of quantum torpedoes and then blew up into the station a bit. So lots of people came flying out
That was
to
fun.
see the world.
Yep.
The Enterprise briefly walked in front of the last one, so that it took most of the brunt, and also got most of the people inside. But they also noticed that a signal had appeared on one of the civilian ships attached to the docking ring on the outside that they think might have been a shrouded Primus hiding on it. So no one's got any other points, basically.
No.
I've got a couple of points of my
Right.
stuff.
Can I just point out that on screen,
Ooh.
beneath Adam,
Yes.
you can now see the stuff, which we've been talking about for a
My
while.
arm, it's supposed to
Hopefully
my
you're
leg.
watching this.
Point. It's there.
Yeah, but my arm actually looks like it.
Yes, but if you just point down in front
If
of
I
you
do
like
this,
this,
look. It's over there! Yes!
Camera fun.
It worked.
We are grown
Sorry,
ups, we
yeah.
promise.
But all the stuff I have on the table most times, which includes all of the current situation traits, which are still vaguely relevant, but not horribly, most of them, down the side here. And then I've got the directives, which are always in play, which are relevant to getting and spending determination, and the current sort of space map, which is this one here, which I have had currently, and crisps to annoy Dan.
Well, yeah, we've been taking on Jem'Hadar potato chip fighters.
Yes. And I also have two threats, which I'm going to try to put up here where you can see it. Momentum, players are dealing with that. Hopefully they'll put it up on one side, probably that side over there, when they have any.
In the one.
There we go.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
We don't
we don't have any.
We don't. Yeah. So right now it doesn't matter.
No.
That's a zoomed-in version, so everyone can have a good look at the stuff and read the details and have a look at it. And what I'll do is I'll switch back to hopefully the right overlay, because I've got all the overlays in there. Yeah, we're suddenly playing Dungeons and Dragons.
So I'm thinking suddenly it's just your road. Dear. External cameras.
I know, filming on location.
But one reason I do mention all of this was to bring up the fact I think you've got veteran as a talent, haven't you?
Yes.
And I don't. Did you roll last week to see if you kept your determination point? Because the main thing that veteran does as a talent is it means that when you spend your determination point, you can roll one of these effect D6 dice. If you get one of the nice Starfleet symbols, you get to keep it. Basically,
I don't recall.
I
don't
doubt
think
you did.
I don't think you
Let's pause and watch back the footage.
Let's
No, you didn't.
not,
I meant to.
no.
But
We're going to assume
Haven't
that
you
he had.
got veteran as
I don't think
well?
I did. I rolled poorly.
yes,
Ah, right,
yeah,
okay.
I did remember that again afterwards. But at the time.
Okay.
Well, then you're in touch. You guys should remember. No, an effect dice. It's the effect dice.
Oh, one of these.
So what do I need to roll?
You want to roll
One
the
of the effects,
Starfleet
which
symbol.
are the Starfleet symbols.
Yay!
Go down.
Tarver.
Because you're a veteran, you keep determining
You
their
may need
nations.
that.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, determination will probably normally be with the players because it's theirs, but they can keep on the corners. Anyway, so as we ended last week, Zelvok, Commander Zelvok, had transported into what I'm going to. It's been a week to say called the Fanfare, the Karemma ship, and the Karemma, if people don't remember, are a trading group that were within the Dominion, and now mostly a trading group within one faction of the Jem'Hadar within the Gamma Quadrant, the Pure or the Inviolate Jem'Hadar Protectorate.
Are these the guys with the red and white?
Stripes and the yeah.
Hmm?
No.
Not them. No. Not the ones that sell Tuliberry wine.
No, that's the Dosai.
That's right.
Well, strictly speaking, the Dosai led them to the Karemma because the Dosai couldn't supply enough, so they put them in
Is the
contact with Karemma.
Karemma the guy played by James Cromwell?
I think so.
With the torpedo that hit the Defiant.
The one with the long...
Great. Yeah, good episode.
The longest time you talk with them is basically him and Quark arguing, and he goes, "We have these rules about trade, and it's always fair and that kind of thing." And then Quark wakes him down and goes, "Nah, we cheat all the time, really."
And I really like that Zephram Cochrane guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Those guys, they were some of the biggest trades in the Dominion, and since most of the other Jem'Hadar had slaughtered non-Jem'Hadar people, they're mostly working with the inviolate Jem'Hadar Protectorate, that or often called the Pure, because they have found a way of not being on countryside white through sort of vague genetic engineering combined with sort of breeding and a little bit of
discipline,
eugenics.
a little bit of eugenics. My kind of people.
But if you're eugenics to un-eugenic other previous bits, is it?
So they've removed the inherent loyalty to the founders underneath the countryside white, but it does mean that they're physically a bit weaker and can't shroud as well, from what the intel is known.
Oh no.
However, they are the only other people with sort of diplomatic relations with the Federation. They do trade with them, as the Karemma being here would suggest. They've not got great relations because they still ruled by Council of the Eldest of the Jem'Hadar, and they don't allow any kind of democracy, and they can still get a bit, aggressive occasionally.
Hey, democracy's overrated.
They don't do that. But yeah, they're not friends with any of the other Jem'Hadar factions in the American quadrant. And like I say, most of you, I will say, will know this by now, because you definitely know in the briefing, and it may have. I've sent you all of the briefings at different points. So. So this Karemma ship does appear to be one of those, but it should only have the Karemma on because the Jem'Hadar don't really come here, and it should be empty from records. People that haven't been transported there will know. Looking at it, it looks like all of the Karemma should be somewhere on the station doing trading and all the other kind of stuff they should be doing. So there shouldn't be anyone on board.
Or potentially being dead at this point.
Well, that too. I was going to say you haven't got them all accounted for on scans because you haven't got them all accounted for on scans because some of them may not be. Scans are very hard in the sort of half shields on, half shields off, Emphasis Testament, and whatnot. So, as we left it, the door had opened to the outside where you'd scan something weird going on the outside of the Hanthar.
Yep.
Not a giant floating thing from Mass Effect. And yes, you'd be transported across in a spacesuit. You're standing there. The doors are open.
Expertly beamed, by the way.
Indeed.
Pull out my phaser, set it to wide beam and shoot.
Where would the phaser be?
In my belt.
Which would be on the inside of your spacesuit.
No. Didn't you beam me over? Because there was that whole conversation beaming with a phaser in my arm.
Yeah. So you had a weapon on you.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Did that happen? I remember.
Yeah, because I remember I had to beam him in with all his gear. So it's like a suit and a weapon.
Right.
Beam him into it.
Okay.
I think the whole complexities of wanting to have
clothes on underneath.
it all linked into everything didn't entirely happen. But I think he did have a phaser.
Yeah.
Okay. So, from outside the airlock, the shields go up on the vessel.
Is it still? It's not docked, is it?
Yeah, it's docked.
It's still docked. So shields have gone up around the vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How strong are their shields?
Oh, not very. There's somebody in the vessel, but there's a risk if you start.
Could I try and compute as an emergency backup the phaser yield required to surgically take their shields out without cutting the ship in half?
That will probably be more the difficult.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of ship. Actually, I do have pictures of it. That you saw. I think it was in a DS9 episode that where it's the same one. I think the torpedo where they're attacked, like one of their ships attacked and the Defiant's attacked by typical things, and they go into the atmosphere of a gas giant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite a big ship, mostly storage and stuff. So it probably does have some vague shields. Yeah, I thought this might be incredibly dark. But that's roughly what a very dark version of it looks, and the slightly more diagrammatic, but able to actually be seen version.
Okay.
Didn't remember that at all?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
It was never lit very well in the episode. In any
No,
of the
because
scenes,
it was in a gas giant atmosphere.
And also, it was also used for 3 other ships with mild redressing.
Paint a different colour and stick a gun on top.
Exactly.
Turn it upside down.
Yeah.
Change the warp engines.
Turn it around.
Yeah.
Sure, give me some sort of calculator.
Okay. Was that so? Reason and engineering or science?
I don't think it's science.
No, it's not.
It could be possibly engineering.
It depends what you're going to do. If you're going to actually just fire a phaser pulse at it enough to drain the shields, or are you going to think of an actual scientific way to drain the shields with like some wibbly
Some wibbly stuff.
Federation science?
I don't. Yeah,
shenanigans.
it's too close to the. Is it near the damaged portion that we crashed 2 ships into?
Not really. It's on like one of the the inner docking arm
Pylons.
pylon things. Yes.
Oh, good, a whole other bit that we haven't damaged yet.
So no, not really. But it's attached to that,
Can we
obviously.
use some of them as an estimate, please?
By the time we finished it, it'll just be back.
Okay, what I'm actually going to do is I am going to try and see if I can figure a way of disrupting their shields externally with some kind of Tetrion beam or tachyon pulse.
Sure. Yeah, we'll say difficulty 2. With the ship helping wherever the ship's gone.
Ship's over there.
Oh, I am the ship.
Dan had better be the ship.
With sensors and science or engineering.
Again, probably engineering. Actually, no, you science.
Science.
For this. Yeah.
So
9.
9 and 3, so 12. You're just what? He's just 1, isn't he?
Yep, just the 1 dice for the helping.
And I've got 2.
No.
So,
Yeah, that's a 4.
That's a
Good.
4.
that's a 4 down.
Oh, sorry. I thought...
That's a success.
So not enough to get 2 successes.
And I got 2.
But yes, I was going to say, so that's none, and that's 1, and that's 2 successes, because it's always 2 successes when it's a 1. We don't have to wonder if you have foci.
Yes. And
So,
because I have technical expertise, I can re-roll one of those.
ooh. So yeah,
That's
so
a
4
success.
successes.
4 successes. And that means I also get an additional momentum
Momentum.
that I can only use for obtain information.
How many momentum did you gain from that? 3 total.
2. Well, 3 total if you include the one that you can use for momentum, but you can't store that one. So, yes, no, you think that it would be tricky. You'd have to sort of take a while working out the phase of it and that kind of thing. That'll take a few minutes. But once you think you've got that, you'd be able to do it unless they start counteracting it.
Sure.
Because, I mean, if they start modulating their shields and stuff, that'll make it much harder.
Absolutely.
You have until it falls over to use.
Can I figure out where their shield generator is from the field it's creating?
Yeah.
With the and share that information with the crew, so I know where the shield generators are.
Sure.
And then if we can get a communication to him, then I might be able to tell him to disable it or something. I don't know.
Sure.
I think I'll keep the other momentum.
Sure.
Because I think,
Dan might need it.
I think Zelvok's going to need it in close quarters combat.
So, while you're setting your thing, give me some noticey kind of rolls.
Yeah, I'll take the ship for now.
This will not be assisted.
Do you want me to pass the ship over there?
Let Keith have the ship.
It feels a bit more.
I have my
He is
ship
the
back.
true captain.
I have the ship back.
I just give it to the captain to delegate.
Engineering, and we can't do much without you. Turn it off.
Daring
anyway.
and security.
No, this will be insight or reason.
Just to let viewers know,
And
it's a little bit warm in
or
here.
just insight.
Insight, yeah.
Just insight or and
Insight
security.
plus security would be it, yeah.
13.
I've well insulated this studio.
Why?
Because it was
It's
really
really
cold
cold
in the
in the
winter.
winter.
Difficulty 3.
How many dice am I rolling?
2 dice. Oh yes.
How much is an aircon unit? Patrons.
Difficulty
There's
3.
a noise
right.
might be a problem.
The noise is a
Well, I'm
problem.
going to roll 1. 1 success.
You do not notice the... right, okay.
The guy come up and punch me in the face.
So, he unshrouds next to you.
Hi.
This is determining who was going kind of first, basically.
Yeah, that's fine. I kind of figured that.
It's not you.
Well, he is invisible. It was always unlikely to be Dan. To be fair.
Yeah.
It's
plausible.
difficult to fight an
He's
invisible
alright.
opponent.
He's a Vulcan. He's a homicidal Vulcan.
What's the worst that
So,
can happen?
I know, shoot it. No, wait.
He looks a bit
Turbs.
pale. I don't know. He's gone back to a Jem'Hadar kind of form.
Okay.
Looks kind of weird, sort of unwell, or not particularly great, probably because of the vacuum thing. But
You know, the vacuum thing.
uh,
Looks creepy.
so he's quite close to you, and as he sort of he sort of looks like he's bringing his arm around, like that will just miss you. But as it does, it sort of molds and change into those what are those blades called, like a Tarkin or something. The big long Jem'Hadar blades. Yes, Khazar Tarkin.
Gesundheit.
You know those long ones with the handle, and they've got the very triangular kind of blade kind of thing.
Like a kukri, but with added bits.
Yes, sure.
Sure. Whatever.
We probably knew what those are.
So what does that do? I don't know, that doesn't matter unless I actually hit.
I
So
believe you do.
this is an opposed thingy.
Oh. Here we go.
I think
So
I'd be
this is
wanting to use one of those blue dice.
This is daring and security.
Daring and security.
Yes.
Not fitness. Cause,
No.
You know.
No, daring is
No,
normally
it's like sudden action.
yes.
Oh,
Daring
okay.
is normally physically combat.
Fighting is hard.
16.
Daring and security is mostly what you use for close-up things, and then it's basically difficulty 2, and whoever gets the most successes is...
He's complaining. He's got 16.
That wasn't complaining. I was making a statement.
Oh, okay.
It'd be better for him too, if that helps.
There's a lot of rolling, a lot of shaking going on.
No. No actual rolling. 2 successes.
Oh, I mean, yay.
Right.
It's not a competition. Well, it is, but not between you and him.
It's literally an opposed roll.
Yeah. Not with Keith help.
Yeah.
So he also got 2 successes,
Okay.
which
Can I-
means...
Sorry.
no, you can do nothing now. Nothing unless you have a relevant talent. You can do nothing. Actually, you can spend your determination to re-roll the dice if you like.
But you've already got 2 successes.
I'd save that for
I have a relevant talent. Mean right hook.
Is that good for avoiding being hit by something?
No.
You could punch the blade
That's
with
fine.
your fist.
Let's see how this pans out.
Oh,
Like Neo, stops the blade.
What? Why?
Just because. Anyway, sorry. I was pointing at his mind meld talent. I was like, you've got to do it.
Time and a place.
Headlock.
Right, so, yes.
Headlock the shape changing. Yeah.
We don't even know if he's keeping his brain, or if he's got one.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything you could do at this point. I'm just trying to remember in my head.
The
That's
rules
okay.
of combat.
Indeed.
And not like the gentleman's rules of combat. Like, they're mechanical rules.
I might
say
make
this.
a passing comment that he looks rather pale and ill. Perhaps he would like to accompany me to the Enterprise's medical bay. Do your worst.
Actually, no, is that no? Is that the right number? I'm just rolling the dice.
Yeah.
I got this much dice.
Yeah. I like dice.
I'm just going to roll these dice. No, I think this is actually the right number.
My.
Again, he isn't anything more than any other Jem'Hadar first would be.
Well,
Keep
you know,
saying this.
there's a
Public
reason
change.
why the Federation got such a kicking against Jem'Hadar.
Yeah. But yes, because this is as hard the first one, and they didn't come one at a time.
3 and 3.
No, like 20.
6 is right. So, heavy blade, 3 with the vicious. There we go. That's good attack.
All Starfleet symbols.
And only 3 of them.
Yowza.
So, because it's vicious,
It is what it is.
Extra damage.
so that's 8 damage.
Does his
Okay.
spacesuit do anything?
Oh, that's a good point,
I would
actually.
be
Space is
nearly dead.
resistance of 2, I think. Off the top of my head.
You go do.
I'd forgotten about
I
that.
don't even know anymore.
Let's go with 2, because I think it's that, and I'm pretty sure, and I don't think it's on my little sheet.
They've got those nice plasticky bits on
Yeah,
them.
yeah, exactly, yes, that's kind of thing. So yeah, we'll assume that takes 2 off, so that's still 6.
Okay.
Unless you've got any other inert resistance, but probably not to blade.
Yeah.
Right, so,
And a pencil.
Is that a cool blade?
And
So-
So now what do I
what that does...
and requires some form of writing input, darling. And
enjoy.
I've left all of my pencils in the house.
To be fair, I can only take 9.
So yes, I'll fully narrate exactly what happens once we've worked out what's happened here. So, he's done more than 5 damage to you. which would normally injure you.
Yep.
Which means you'd go down unconscious, dying. And he's also taken 6 stress off of you, just
I'm younger than
as a side note. But I assume that will not take you down to 0, so it doesn't injure you twice.
No.
Because that would be more or less impossible. But if you could spend 2 momentum to avoid an injury, or take a complication or something along those sort of lines from the injury to not basically fall unconscious and be bleeding to death.
I think I'll take the 2 momentum to bleed to death.
Take the complication of air escaping my spacesuit. No.
Yeah, something like that would be
Can you
would be
take
authentic.
ruptured? Because you're inside the ship, you could take ruptured spacesuit.
You
And it
could.
wouldn't impact you right now.
Well, it would impact you right now. 'Cause-
Oh, you're in the airlock, aren't you?
He may or may not be trying to kill Dan.
No, you wouldn't.
Hey, I got better.
Who's in charge of the ship? The captain. You know those turbo lift escape pods. Don't go anywhere. You're in trouble, mate.
Unless I say he's better.
I can
then
kind
he's
of
better.
understand with this sense of logic why the Cardassians ended up the way they did.
So, you can also spend determination to avoid injury, I believe.
That's that one, yeah?
Yeah, that's the good one though.
Can I...
Keep that one.
That one you can pay to make a 1.
Keep that one.
That's true.
When
Or reroll dice.
When you really.
It is
need
normally
to,
more
like-
powerful than
You
momentum.
Spend the little blue ones. I think that's
Has anyone got
better.
rubber?
Cool.
They do have
Just
magic
one
rubber.
on the end of your
Enjoy.
pencil.
No, there isn't.
Oh. Ooh.
Enjoy smudge rubber.
Okay.
It's really smudgy.
It's very smudgy, yeah?
I have a
I
non-smudgy
just made that work.
So
somewhere. Where's my bag?
basically what happens is that he appears out of nowhere. That he did, like I say, his arm turns into this and it kind of cocks you quite right in the chest. It kind of, a lot of it bounces off your suit and you kind of go whoop, poof, and sort of fly against the wall, and then kind of the maglock boots kind of go, well, you've got gravity still, but still make you down a bit quicker. But you've had the wind knocked out of you a bit.
Okay.
It's now your turn.
I will attack it. Have I still got my phaser?
Yes, you were just putting it on wide.
What's gonna cause more damage? Me or the phaser?
Me or the phaser?
Well, both of them would be kind of difficult, I think, because all of your current attacks have non-lethal, which means they're 1 harder to do.
My mean right hook does vicious.
Indeed, but still, nevertheless, non-lethal. Vicious.
Oh, that's a bit boring.
How could he attack lethally?
Well, he can attack lethally. It's just 1 harder with non-lethal things.
Okay.
So you can attack lethally with unarmed or nerve pinches and that kind of thing.
You'd
But
take 1 success off in the opposed
Yes.
roll against him.
yes, indeed.
Okay. Right.
Well, it'd be 1 harder. You might fail entirely. You've still got to hit 3 then to actually do it. He's quite resistant to non-lethal things. You could attack him non-lethally, but he's quite resistant to those, as we pointed out before. You could fire with your phaser, but again, that's 1 harder because he's right next to you, and all things, I think, are 1 harder. All things other than melee combat, basically, if someone is next to you that's aggressive, is 1 harder.
Yeah.
So that's different ways of doing it, but they're all
Using a
basically
ranged weapon
difficulty
in-
3.
So to be honest, you
or
might
non-lethal.
almost try and hit him lethally.
I would hit him lethally
I
somehow,
would
because
hit him
otherwise
and
he's just
take
going to absorb it all.
10 too.
Remember, he was like. That's
I
why you had.
I hit him with 10 or something, and did
right.
3 damage.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He's a bit more injured, well, sort of injured, because he's
space.
semi-asphyxiated.
Just phaser to kill.
And all gloopy. Let's
Yeah,
not forget
phaser to kill.
gloopy.
Okay. Phasers. Let me look. Type
Beep,
one.
beep.
It's the hand one, isn't it? Yeah? So
Yes.
Type 2. Charge. What does charge do?
Ooh.
So,
That
Probably
kind of
not
charge.
that sort.
You never know.
He rugby tackles him straight out, back out the
still one
airlock.
harder.
You could try and flush him out into space.
There's no way to do so. Oh, you've got everything F inside the ship, I guess.
But he'll just shroud again and...
And also airlocks
Momentarily.
tend not to
And
like
maybe
you opening the
they'll lock
inside
on
when
one,
you've
yeah.
got the outside open,
And
so that's
then-
the whole point of airlocks.
Plus they
Yeah,
got
but
their
when you
shields
phaser
up, they'll just
them-
bounce against the shield and come back in again.
No, you're out.
Yeah.
But doesn't he go out because this ship has raised its shields?
It's 1, actually. Anyway. So, your charge, what charge does, it unfortunately gives you a bunch of options. If you perform a minor action to do before you actually shoot at him, you can add different properties to the weapon,
2 feet to the
such as area,
Get back out.
but that's not that useful because it'll just hit more than him, and there's only him that you really want to hit. Intense, which makes it harder for him to avoid spending stuff to avoid injury. where's it gone? Piercing, which means for every effect you ignore 2 of his resistance. So that might be if you want to non-lethal shoot at him. That might make sense. Or vicious, which does more damage. Or you could use your minor action ahead of time to aim, which would mean you could reroll one of the d20s when you roll. Options. Unfortunately, a lot of the Federation weapons are not quite as good in one particular area, but have all of these options. Enjoy.
Yeah. That's why so much goes wrong with them. Not like
But
a Cardassian
you
phaser.
can do so many things with them.
If they survive trawling through a swamp.
If I focus, did you say it was non-lethal?
If you do non-lethal, it means you won't add to my threat, which if you attack him lethally, you will add to my threat. He has much more resistance, but you could do the piercing thing.
Yeah, forget that.
Which
Each effect removes 2 resistance rather than...
And he's got 5 resistance, so if you roll 3 effects, it will ignore all of his resistance.
Let's do the viciously one.
Okay, and more damage, that means every effect does 1 extra damage.
And lethal.
And lethal, yes?
And lethal, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Whoa.
Actually, I should have spent that last time to lethally attack you. Yeah, Phil, come on. It all balances out.
Are you using your thing
This one?
to get a free 1?
Yes.
If you have a value or directive that is relevant.
Oh. Veteran.
I
You've
can't-
been
I-
in many battles.
I
and you
can't-
know
That's
it's
a talent with value.
Do you have?
Oh.
Do you have? We come in peace. Shoot
Okay.
and kill.
Price of
Seen-
peace is vigilance.
Yeah,
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
sure.
Or I've seen too much
Can I-
to be surprised.
Yeah.
Because he
Can I
literally
spend this
just
after I
surprised
roll, or does it have to be before? I roll?
You spend it after you roll to re-roll, but if you want to add the dice with
I'm going to
one
add it
on
now,
it,
so
then
let's spend
you
that.
have to spend it now.
Cash that in.
him. Here you go.
After this roll, remember to re-roll an effect dice, see if you get it back after this. So you're adding extra at 1.
Yep.
So it's difficulty 3.
Hang on.
Can't see it, but it's there.
It's got the little Starfleet symbol on it, which means 1 on these dice.
Oh.
What am I rolling?
You're rolling
16.
and...
Control plus security.
Control?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, because you're aiming.
Because ranged weapons are control, and melee weapons are melee attacks are
Which
daring.
was on?
So you got 1.
Yeah. Oh no, wait. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 2.
Yeah, I was going to
Well,
say.
3.
With
Yeah.
yeah,
3.
3.
And 1's a 1. That's still 3.
I don't have to worry if you have a relevant foci.
Okay.
So, you shoot him, and you hit him.
How much damage is it?
6. Oh, actually, no, sorry, your security plus 3, which will probably be like 8 feet.
Yeah. All of those bad boys.
Does he want some of
Did
those?
you get any extras?
What do you mean?
Because don't you get extra successes add onto the effect dice?
No, he didn't get any extra, unfortunately. So he
Oh,
needed 3.
Oh, yeah, because he's shooting in close combat.
Shooting in close combat it means
This guy not
Good job you got one then.
You can't. There's no dodgy thing. It's just hard to
Come on,
hit
let's
melee.
roll a load of Starfleet symbols.
So unfortunately, there was no momentum generated on this roll. But there's lots of damage things, so you might well do it anyway.
Whoa!
Look at all
Couple.
those blank spaces.
There's 3 blanks, but there's
3 Starfleet
and 2 twos.
4 explosions.
Yeah, so they count as 1 anyway, don't they? Effect?
Yes, they do.
Starfleets.
So they count as 2.
Basically.
And they count as 2, so you got 10 points of damage
Right.
on a lethal attack.
Right.
And 3 effects?
That's the vicious.
Yes.
Oh,
the
let's
extra
do the
damage.
thing. I didn't know this would happen. Right. Okay.
I thought Starfleet symbols were 1.
So-
1 splat.
They're
They
one
are-
with an effect, and because he's vicious, the effect is 1 more damage.
Yes, indeed, because he has vicious 1 on the weapon. That's what he chose when he went.
Very nice.
Basically, he went full power.
Yes.
How about no zap?
So, right. So, what I was thinking for him because he was at the thing. I was just going to take half of his stress off. He's got resistance 2. So you're doing what was it? 8 damage. So is it? No, it's
I
more.
thought you said 10.
No, it's 10. Yeah. I was going to say 8. I was about to say 8 after the resistance. Oh, you scared me. and he had 8 stress left. So that means you've injured him twice, which means he could avoid it. We couldn't avoid it anyway.
Nice.
Even if I had enough threats to spend. Something's gonna.
He's being crafty.
No, it's just something that was always going to happen at this particular occasion.
occurred.
Does he explode? Because that'd be cool.
No. It's more something extra for what something else is happening.
He absorbs the energy and splits them into two.
And you're like,
Yes, he's a Hydra. You cut off one of his head, it evaporates, and two grow.
Luckily, neither of them can look forward straight, so it doesn't really matter.
all right, Zaphod.
No, it's just this should really cost more threat than this, but
Well, spend your threat and do
I was
it.
going to say, but I only have one threat to spend, so I shall spend that threat. So time goes to like time doesn't go to a pause. You fire as the beam's flying across for the viewer in slow motion. Out of sort of nowhere, something forms in the way.
Yeah.
And kind of in like between your phaser blast and the Primus there, kind of hits it and kind of goes over. It seems to be absorbed by it, and then there's sort of glows, and then sort of cools down to like the glow fades away, so you can see again briefly. And Odo is standing there.
I'm really confused.
Shit! What? Good luck. Can we detect any of this? Can I detect? I'm like scanning. Can I?
Sorry.
It could be. He could have just morphed again.
Odo will do a thing in a moment.
Okay.
It's got a grumpy voice.
So, well, from where you are, you're scanning. You can see in the air, look through the shields. There is like
No.
a phaser's fired.
Measure.
Well, Primus appears.
Yep.
A phaser is fired.
Yep.
Some weird energy thing happens.
Yep.
Something almost like someone transports us in.
Okay.
There's
Almost as good.
readings
as I
go a
did
bit.
earlier on.
Wibbly wobbly time.
Can I try and as this is happening, capture? Obviously we're recording everything, but I want to like amp up the sensors.
Did my suit
In that
record
area.
that visually? Have I got like a
could,
head
but it would
camera?
delay the whole energy drainy thing because you're kind of busy doing that.
This looks much more.
So
I don't care if you
pause that, the whole working out the phase.
Yeah,
and that kind
that's
of
fine. Or is there someone on the bridge that I could shout at, or say, "Ensign, scan what's going on in that airlock now," for example.
Yeah, but they won't do it very good.
Right. I was trying to save Sam.
Unless she has a character that'll come in a
I
moment.
have, yes.
Okay.
Just got an
Okay. In which case,
So
I'll
relevantly-
stop because from the sensor readings, it looks like he's about to blow him away.
You can ask the captain to do it. He's down in engineering.
No, it's
watching about.
I will suddenly. I'm going to focus in on that.
Just saying I survived.
Bring
my combat.
all shit sensors that I can to bear on it
No.
Weapons.
and scan the hell out of it.
Sure. Give me a difficulty level 2 scan. Difficulty
Dear
level
God.
two
Can
scan.
the ship help me?
No, the ship's in assault.
Oh, come on.
Let's go.
Just out of curiosity,
No, it
The
can't.
ship's arcing.
if this weird thing hadn't have happened,
What?
would have happened,
Yes.
have I dropped him?
Yeah, he would have been disintegrated, which is why it happened.
Just saying.
The red, pause the
Dear God,
recording.
he survived the phaser
so
at
I
full
got one.
blast. Quick, quantum torpedo.
And I'm going to re-roll this one
Survive
because
this.
of my ability. That's a 12.
Better.
Is that
Okay.
enough? I expected
So
it.
2 successes.
Yep. So that's enough to. So you've got the scanning of what's going on, but you don't really get any more. So
No, that's fine. I'm going to pour over it later.
a changeling has appeared. A phaser seems to have hit the changeling at like full beam. The changeling seems to have gone, and just it seems to have absorbed it and then dissipated it, which is not something that they traditionally did.
So I just shot Odo by accident.
Well, he did just beam in between you and the Jem'Hadar having a fight.
Probably on purpose.
You'd hope.
Yeah. He hit one moment, and he turns around, and he will.
Dissect.
You're now
Peel.
fighting Odo.
Yeah. He peels the Jem'Hadar, puts the skin on. No.
Can I try and arrest him?
Here we go. Arrest him.
Yep. Okay. Basically, kind of shapeshift into a sort of like another kind of bindy kind of the liquidy kind of tentacly things, and kind of wraps around Primus, and he kind of just whacks him against the wall a couple of times, and he falls, and the Primus is like, "What?"
Odo's fucking
Sorry, just for viewer context, Odo went and no one's seen him.
Yeah, all the changelings disappeared.
They all disappeared.
20 years
They've
ago.
all been gone. So no one's seen a changeling for 20 years.
Dan is pissed.
Odo's
Taking
fucking
your
kill stealing.
Gary Lineker.
Welcome back, Zelvok. I see you were saved by...
What are you doing?
Right,
Yeah, you know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
It's
I
Odo.
think I can see the way these things are. Do I know what that changeling is?
Well, again, on internal scans, a changeling has appeared, so no, not particularly. But you know what a changeling is.
And no one's seen him in
Oh yeah,
ages.
a changeling, but that changeling.
No.
Can I look through the window?
Sure. You have to come. I assumed you were sort of back from the door.
Yeah. Come over the door and have a look.
Sure. You put the shields up, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on, I'm confused.
What can I
It's
do?
going to be the janitor of the ship.
At the window. Well, actually, no. You don't see anything.
No.
Actually, no. To go up to the window, you'll have to unshroud. So.
Whoa!
No, I don't want to unshroud.
You'll have to
Okay.
unshroud.
Then you don't know.
Spoiler.
I think I can see the way this may be going. However, can I walk away from the window, and I appreciate I'll unshroud and access the like a communications terminal
Sure.
and try and hail the Enterprise.
Sure. You're being hailed. Whoever's on comms.
On screen.
Right, so it's not going to be like a proper screen, like you're getting through to the bridge. This is going to be like the little ones you have by the doors.
Yeah,
I'm
it's good to say.
assuming.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Shed bucket flats camera.
Yeah. Okay.
So what
Just
sort
like
of-
slightly up
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah. So what sort of swims into vision is an old-looking Jem'Hadar. Looks like proper old beat-up warrior gamma, probably. But there's no evidence of the Ketrasil white sort of apparatus going
Okay.
on.
Is he wearing a uniform?
Can't see why. Would he,
This is acting Captain
is he gonna know
Tovon
this
of
is
the USS
Oh,
Enterprise.
yes, because they're going to say it's the Enterprise. That makes my
You know it's the Enterprise, yeah.
Yeah.
Much easier.
How can we be of
Also, it's
assistance?
written on the ship in big
Enterprise.
letters.
And backwards to see it in your mirrors.
Yeah.
My name is Zoleg Viz. I'm the commander of this vessel. I appear to have a situation in my airlock. Think
Yes,
it might
everything-
be something to do with you.
There is an incident
Yes.
in progress
We
right
noticed
now.
the incident in progress.
Please-
It shall gesticulate towards the.
Please move to a safe area, probably near your shield generator in your aft compartment, and stay clear of the incident for now. Our tactical officer is resolving this incident.
I would have resolved it. That's all I'm saying.
May I get your credentials and ID?
Does he even know where the button is for that?
Probably.
Oh, right. I'll just find a button for that one.
Okay.
I
I just want to make sure this isn't some Jem'Hadar who's hanging out and pretending to be like, oh, I run this ship, kind of thing. Not that I hate Jem'Hadar, you know.
Since I raised the shields because you
He
weren't
looks really
really
old. It's
announced.
one of the primes you saw dead.
You weren't really announced that we were going to be on the ship, but
A shrouded Jem'Hadar
yes,
fugitive
I
arrived on the vessel.
gathered. I mean, would you
Unfortunately.
like me to contain the scene? There's possibly the slight inklings of a sort of plasma rifle on the edge of the screen.
I think right now it seems that it's a delicate situation, but a safe one, and perhaps it would be best not to throw shield force fields up or bear weapons.
Antagonising stuff.
Perhaps make your presence known so that they don't believe that you are another one of Primus's.
He'll make some sort of spitting noise off of the camera. I am nothing to do with that lunatic.
I can see clearly from your credentials. However, there are a number of Jem'Hadar who have attacked Emissary's Testament, and in the
yes, you
confusion,
spaced most of them, didn't you? A
Well-
couple bounced off the hull.
our tactical officer is a very astute individual. However, he's in a high-stress situation,
Yeah.
and he may see a Jem'Hadar and nerve pinch or phaser, and ask questions later.
The safety and the nerve bench is off.
Right.
Maybe make yourself
I'll
known.
make my presence known and let you know.
Can
Let me
I?
know if you need me to do anything
Can I
helpful,
communicate to the
like...
airlock?
No, you can't.
Well,
you can get to him, actually.
Can I route
But
communications through your ship?
you can connect to Zelvok, actually.
I know, but I'm kind of trying. I think it might form a bit of a bridge.
Oh, we can probably do that.
You can
I
probably
would
lower your
thought-
shields.
You're sure there's not going to be any more random people?
There are
being
no
into
other
my
rogue
airlocks
vessels
today,
in the
and
system.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah, and
that's
we're
good
going to
know.
move closer to the station. I'll like nod at the helmsman to make sure that everything's okay.
Right.
Because we were a little bit away, weren't we? We'd ended up a bit further away, so we're going to move closer.
Yes. I hope my crew is still right aboard the station, but we'll have to see.
Well, we'll do everything we can to help
Right,
you. And if there's
well,
been any sabotage to the exterior of your vessel, we'll...
I'll go and make my presence known and switch through your comm signal. As long as you understand, we're currently at peace with the Federation. We wish to
Of
keep
course.
it that way.
I merely asked because I'm merely acting captain, and I wish to. Our captain has been injured, but he's recuperating well. I just wish
good.
to patch him into our tactical officer so he can apprise the situation.
Okay, right. The pop panel will go off probably with some mumbling about
Well, meanwhile...
Alpha Quadrant people.
The helmsman sees your nod and goes, I will follow the last order, and sets warp course. Straight in.
Meanwhile...
Not that confused.
Obviously, before, actually, he just mouthed something at you and then threw the guy about the place. And then he'll reach over and sort of close the exterior, basically cycle the airlock so that the airlock starts coming down. And he's like...
Because there'd be no sound in vacuum.
Indeed.
I'll take my
Apart from
helmet
the
off.
phaser noise.
But obviously, the air cycling
Yeah.
before... He'll speak once the air's finished cycling. We probably won't take the helmet off until that bit either, because you're not crazy. Yeah. I like the sensation. Yeah, coming in.
I can do it.
Your eye's correct for that one, I guess.
Hey, Vulcans can survive in rarefied atmosphere.
Yeah, but,
Atmosphere.
Yeah.
Key word there.
yeah. Anyway,
They never specified how rare.
It's so rare, it's not there.
so Primus is unconscious on the ground. He's like, apologies, Commander.
Comfortable.
But he's eaten one of the last one of the 100, and we can't let that one be destroyed. Do whatever you'd like to him, but you can't kill that. We won't allow it.
Can you remove it?
We could, but we're not going to. We're not interfering. We're taking a policy of non-interference for a little while we learn the proper way to do things, as recommended by the prophets. So, if you forgive me, he should be unconscious now, but don't, as I said, destroy him. Do whatever you'd like with him. I don't strongly care about him. He is someone torturing one of my kind. There's been a bit of a disagreement about whether or not we should intervene, but for now we're not intervening, and so I'm going to go away.
He just intervened.
I didn't.
Can I conveniently patch in through the comm system?
At this moment,
I
yeah.
think Zelvok would probably say something first, potentially.
Oh,
just
yeah,
along the lines of
yeah.
In which case, the comm panel to the airlock will probably go. And so, Jem'Hadar voice. This is Zelvok Viz of the inviolate Jem'Hadar. I'm just going to patch in the communications from your ship, but I am a Jem'Hadar and I am armed, but I'm not going to kill you. The face will pop up at the window at this point. And then, yes.
Is he a short Jem'Hadar?
No, I just assume he's trying to keep out the way.
Oh, okay. I think we say like pop up.
It sounds slightly dangerous. He doesn't know he's just a Vulcan.
He's just coming carefully out of cover. He's a trained soldier.
He doesn't know he's just a Vulcan. He hasn't seen yet.
Yep.
Right,
It's just a spacesuit with a phaser.
I'll patch
That'd be
through.
kind of cool.
I'll patch through Pete as the Jem'Hadar comes properly into focus.
Captain, I'm patching you through to Zelvok. He's in a airlock with Primus and what looks like a changeling. And there you go.
Do we have transporter lock?
In a moment. Sorry. Momentarily.
If this goes well, Zelvok will go and take the shields down. He genuinely does want to get on the Federation's good side.
Yeah. Commander Zelvok, report.
Right, so I'll be leaving. Good day.
We thought that was another spillage.
Everything's got the lids on. Everything.
Except the cups.
What's the Jem'Hadar's name again?
Viz.
This one.
No, that one.
Primus.
Primus. He's supposed to be
You just heard him say
Hey,
leaving.
has Odo gone?
He's just looks like he's going, unless someone's going to say stop or anything along those sort of lines.
No.
I said, Commander Zelvok, report.
And then Odo said, I'm going then.
Okay. Primus has been incapacitated.
He he looks like he's shape-shifting, and then he kind of shapeshifts into like
Energy.
energy, and then sort of disappears.
Like the thing with Kira?
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Primus has been incapacitated. Please lower the shields to this vessel so that we can beam him directly to the ship's medical bay.
It does look like
Our scans are showing another changeling in there with you.
The changeling has gone.
Yep.
Captain, I've thoroughly scanned the encounter, and I will be pouring over the information. I'm eavesdropping. Pouring over the information as we speak, and I'm like...
And Solid will actually be trying to take some of his own scans as well.
Right.
But, it's probably not his forte, I suspect.
But, yeah.
Well, right. Commander Kren, prepare to receive Commander Zelvok
And prisoner.
and prisoner.
Oh. Alright then.
Security to the infirmary.
Friend to the rest of the infirmary. We've got a bucket. Or like a... I don't know.
Bathtub.
I don't know.
He appears solid when he's
Alright.
appeared.
Yes, Zolig will drop the shields, so I'm still doing him for a bit. Zolig will drop the shields.
Right.
And go in probably to check that they're alright as they've been out. Yes?
I am fine.
Does he look fine?
No, probably bleeding profusely.
No, you were just winded. There's like a big dent in the front of the, because you avoided the injury with momentum.
Yeah.
It was a glancing blow. But yes, there's probably a big
the kind of etch-a-sketch buttons. It's just like...
that's
you need
smashed.
to roll.
Yeah.
You need to roll a dice.
Oh yeah, to see if you keep your memento. Your
Memento.
Oh yes, the
your
determination. Just say remind me.
Yay!
Cool.
Oh, you are a hardcore veteran. Look at that. He's determined.
I've got my pistol. I think that's a job well done.
In
Thanks.
the few seconds before they transport, can Solid get a couple of visuals of any of the equipment, just pointing out that Primus has been pretty defeated here.
Yes.
Because, Jem'Hadar propaganda. People know.
Yeah, you can send on the internal scans and things.
Yeah,
You'll
make
have
sure
pictures
people get
of their off.
plenty of pictures of that.
Indeed. Right. So, well, that's more or less most of the dramatic things that are going to happen.
You have to make that.
I have a detailed
Thank the
report to write
Jem'Hadar
up.
for the assistance.
Right, yes.
So-
I'm sure we are, as I said, we are currently at peace with the Federation. We're not want to
Can
change
someone
that.
beam me over?
Oh yeah. So you're beamed over.
Being beamed to sick
Okay.
bay,
And
I'm
the
assuming.
Primus will start to
beam you
stir a lot
back
and require a lot of
into your
sedatives and
uniform.
care.
I don't even know.
And the suit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, your uniform is now on backwards.
I'll take it off.
The legs are on your arms.
It's sick bay. You're not the most confused thing in here at the moment, however you come out.
However, luckily, there's a conveniently placed comm badge.
But there's some minor bruising. Yeah, all that's sort of sorted out, and we can How you
There's
gonna
no medical personnel to see to me. I'll
Yeah,
try
yeah,
and use
Hans,
a dermal
we've got a
regenerator
whole-
myself.
We've got a whole medical staff.
Well,
I get an
it's quite
extra
busy in there.
In fact, I might actually try and do it to myself.
It's quite busy in there because you are having lots of people beamed over
Oh,
from the
the people
station
who-
and
yeah,
stuff
and all the people
in the fights and all that kind of stuff.
Just
So
sit quietly.
I got
Yeah.
one in medicine. I can use a
Sit-
dermal regenerator.
Sit quietly and don't bleed on anything.
you're not civilian enough you could hurt yourself.
Sit quietly and
For the
don't
dermal
bleed. You'll be
regenerator.
fine.
Can I summon a holographic doctor?
No. We turned him off.
It was one of the Andy Dick
It's fine.
ones. It's definitely turn out.
We do actually have. I get like a bonus for them doing things, so I'm sure someone can see to you.
Yeah.
I will try to knock Primus out even more knocked than he already is. And
Yeah,
then
it takes a while. And you
try
need one of
Drugs
the,
or something heavy? Is the doctor just suddenly
you need one of the security fields and things. It's quite,
The first thing I would like to do...
What happened? What do you see?
The suit, I assume, like, it's got the torch. Has it got some sort of, like, camera device? Did it film the conversation with the changeling pretending to be Odo?
yeah, sure.
I will just download that into
my database?
everyone's, so she can get a copy, he can get a
what
copy, they
data,
can
all
all
that
get...
kind of thing. Yeah,
So, questions answered.
yeah.
And then I will go and sit down somewhere.
Does anyone, like I say,
Is everyone else in the sick bay?
no, he's not. He's
I
an
was,
engineer.
I was in engineering.
You could probably come back again though.
I mean, to be fair, at sick bay, I'd probably go.
Captain, I think we need... I'm going to hail the captain. Tovon to captain.
Yes?
Tovon to proper captain. Oh, that's me. Oh, no. Tovon to captain.
Savaic.
I'm not going to say he's captain.
It's not.
I think we need to discuss the significance of this event.
Agreed. Let us make sure all repairs are carried out and all personnel have been treated.
I will conduct a detailed analysis.
Very well. Maintain the bridge. I'm on my way to sick bay.
Very
I
well.
will remain in sick bay.
Possibly come with Tovon. He might as well just come to sit there.
I was going to say, we could have a conversation without you.
Just come to sit there.
I was going to come to sick. That's why I said, is everyone in sick bay?
Oh,
Because
a holographic
I will then
version
go
of
to
yourself into sick bay.
yeah.
Oh, just walk down.
Wicked.
Fine.
Actually, Commander Tovon,
yeah.
come to sick bay. You're scanning and bring a science team. What the Primus is made of is very interesting.
What
Yes,
Primus
indeed.
is made of is a mess, sir.
I will
According to
send a
this,
science
interesting.
team,
He ate
a
one of the 100.
xenobiology team to sick bay, and I will site-to-site transport to sick bay.
Sure.
I take a while because I'm walking in the corridors.
I am mentally
You're the
making.
captain.
I am mentally making a list of all the people at Starfleet Medical that I need to contact. Start with anyone that's still got any of Odo's files, probably, and work from there.
Before I leave the bridge, I'm going to comm Emissary's Testament and ask them to conduct a deep material scan of the airlock of the Fanfare before it's allowed to leave.
Sure. Yep.
So, Solid was going to see.
So yeah, like I say, things are returning to normal. People are getting out. They've got control back on Emissary's Testament.
Yay.
All of these things will go away. Basically, because they're not anymore. Because there's no one to fight. There are no Jem'Hadar to have tactically disruptive comms. Half systems, all the systems back under control. Primus is on neither of those things, and the Agouti Russian toy is more of a relevant as a history point.
Yeah. You can...
A bit more centre
There you go.
there. Very satisfying.
So, yes, then, like I say, they get
Condition.
control all the people let out of the force fields. They find the Jem'Hadar.
Bejor and Bejor 10 have been eaten by Dan.
Yes, indeed. Greasy Bejor tenant. And you're having your, debrief in the medbay. While things are being sorted out.
Captain, how are you feeling?
I am still.
I might take the opportunity to scan him.
How am I feeling?
Willy weep, willy weep.
It depends. Does it
Far as the
all,
GM's concerned.
does it all sort of go black if you lean your head backwards?
Yes, because that's the colour of the ceiling.
It's
What
just
are the colours of the ceiling? Are...
leaves backwards and just faints. It's all gone black.
It's a good test.
It's a good test. It's a great test.
Let's all have a briefing.
The person that's so trained in someone's
Somebody
behind
passes
him.
out in the corner.
Yeah, what's down the ceiling?
If there are no coloured splashes or any blackness when you lean your head back, then the spinal graft has probably been wholly successful, sir.
That's good news.
It is.
Spinal graft.
It wasn't really attached.
Well,
It is now.
it did look rather messy at the time.
Please don't do that again. Sir.
Kren, it seems your skills are up to the...
They're not up to
mark
him,
again.
though. I'll gesture in the direction of Primus. We need, like... I don't know, take him to Starfleet Medical? My best guess at the moment.
Xenobiology people.
And the other ones as well, possibly on Earth. I mean, I've seen the file you sent over of, well, Odor close enough. But...
I haven't had time to review that yet.
I don't even know how...
He looks mostly solid now, he's unconscious, but
Yeah,
the scans are still all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't even know... If this is technically two life forms, I don't even know where to start separating them. And we presume the changelings will want them separated. That seemed to be the implication.
What did he say about the... Did he say anything about... I'm just got an earpiece in and I'm listening to the playback on the...
I mean, did he imply...
You could all have viewed it off screen at some point.
Star Trek.
I was going to
I've been like
policy of
ordering
non-interference.
I was going to say we can go over to one of those
But
corner
that we would not
consoles
harm it.
in one of the more shrouded med bays and sit there and
Yes.
review
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
footage.
We'll review the footage.
Indeed. Do you want to replay it?
What I'll do is I'll just replay the bit off the...
Yeah, no, this... I mean, I've done a fair bit of xenobiology, but this is... We need people who write their PhDs about changelings here. This is...
And he refers to the 100?
That was right, wasn't it?
Yes, if I remember from my
Sudden panic.
Cracking
my
reference, by the way.
history of the war, and what limited knowledge we had back then of the changelings was they sent 100 changelings out into the galaxy.
Before the war.
Oh, many centuries ago, hundreds of
Right.
years.
And this
That's
is what
probably why I
Constable
haven't
Odo
read
was-
about it.
Yes,
One
and Constable Odo was
Hmm.
one of these 100, the first one we encountered. I believe there are reports of several others before and during the war appearing near Deep Space Nine, probably because of its proximity to the gravitational effects of the wormhole.
Does Odo say the last of the 100? Right.
So perhaps they
So
found
they've returned them
them
all. Apart from this one. If you can extract it and it can be rejuvenated, then that surely... It seems that they are stepping aside from galactic society at the behest of the prophets. The
That's
appearance...
what the Vortigale said on Deep... Sorry, the Outer Officer said on Deep Space Nine, wasn't it?
Well, no one's seen them for 20 years. It's amazing. It's astonishing that it would appear at this moment when you're engaged in the hand-to-hand combat with a Jem'Hadar. Obviously, there's a reason because of this 100
Well, he
creature.
did say they are not interfering. They are letting events run their course.
But that hasn't.
I
That
mean,
gives a sense that they know what events might happen.
No, they are just keeping very, very close eye on. They could be
Prophets. The prophets are wormhole aliens, and they
no
do
changelings.
I know, but he references the prophets
Yes,
and the advice of the prophets,
Yes.
who are
Non-linear.
non-linear.
yes.
So there is a time travel element involved in
No,
this.
there's not.
Why would the prophets tell them not to interfere with things? They've seen the future.
Might just think it was good discipline after spending 1,000 years trying to interfere with it.
Maybe.
Tovon's reasoning is logical.
And considering what we experienced at Lacuna Colony,
I'm not sure
My
there's a
underst-
link.
No, it was my understanding from
this
Odo's
is
implication there that they are taking a back seat from galactic socializing
yes.
by advice of the prophets, not the non-interference.
Wow. I think we can infer lots of things. The prophets add an unknown quantity, as far as I'm concerned, in my calculations.
There's not enough evidence to draw any conclusions.
While they're debating this, his friend has
Which
come
is
to
why the
conclusion
variables are uncertain.
He doesn't have an opinion.
Well, we could fly into the wormhole and see if Captain Sisko's available.
Do I even think I could
Call him
start?
up,
Can I
go
even
for it.
tell there's two different life forms in here?
Captain Sisko's not been seen.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Allegedly, although people in Whom don't seem that upset that he's gone.
that's why I'm suggesting that we go into the wormhole and seeing if he's available.
Perhaps we should.
Isn't that what he did? Flew into the wormhole and go, prophets, hello.
Well, it was slightly different with him.
You should maybe try the
Because he
orbs
was the
first.
emissary.
And then, there's an orb, isn't there?
Yeah, maybe try the orb first, sir.
Wasn't there an orb?
There's an orb.
Of the emissary, yes, it's
Yes,
on the
there's an
emissary's
orb of the
testament.
emissary.
Is it still an emissary's testament
Yes.
after all the damage we've done?
And if
It's in a very
Odo
well-defended
appears
area,
and the
unsurprisingly.
changelings appear after 20 years, do you not think they would loan the orb of the emissary to the Enterprise to travel into the wormhole to ask them for what's going on?
I'm going to do some medical science while they're having this debate.
What medical
I'll
science
leave
you
that
do?
one with you, Captain.
I want to try and see if I can even tell there's two creatures in here.
Yes.
Now I've been told.
Yes, except that they're definitely fused together, such...
If you want
which you'll be
Starfleet
quite-
officer... Sorry.
be quite familiar with. They are very fused together in that, like I say, his organs internally and even bones and all that kind of stuff are constantly changing into this thing and none changing into this thing. They're not necessarily connected either, so it's not like one bit's doing it. It's all over his body. It's like big areas, but yeah, you can definitely transport other bits that are currently seem to be fluid, but you don't.
Know if that's even all.
And you think that maybe if it's like a proper changeling, that would be fine. You could just transport those, stick those together, it'd be fine. He'd definitely die, though. Unless you tried to replace those organs at the same time, and that would be very complicated. But yeah, ethically speaking, this would be difficult because you would.
Holographic organs.
Sir, if I may suggest, I don't pretend to know about orbs or anything of that sort of nature, but in terms of the patient or patients, yeah, I could try a few things. I've got a few ideas, but as far as we know, it is not time critical. I think the safest thing for this changeling, and possibly even for the Jem'Hadar, if there's enough of it left, is to seek lots of expert advice and get him in the best facilities. I really do, rather than me trying to do something out here in the wilds ad hoc. As I say, there are people who've made studying changing physiology their lives, and I think as a bare minimum we should get their opinion. If not, I mean, is he stable? He's as stable as he's
Well,
going to get.
Sort of. He doesn't seem to be changing over time. You wouldn't call the state stable, but
No,
It's
he's,
not-
he's
a
as stable
very
as
slow
he's going
decline.
to get.
no.
No? Okay.
Yeah, he's just inherently unstable.
Oh, yeah.
But he's as stable as he's going to get, and I could attempt something here, but I don't think that's in the best interest of my patient, sir.
Then we will make your communications to Starfleet.
I'll talk to... I should be able to dig up some experts if your guys are happy to send me the sensor data.
Of course.
Commander Tovon, if you were not a Starfleet officer, I would be highly suspicious of your interests in Bajoran culture. However, we will definitely look into this. Do you have contacts on the station?
On the station?
No, but he does.
No.
Ah,
No, I think Commander Zelvok is your person for that. It's probably best my name is not.
I was going to say, everybody that I spoke to is dead.
No, his station's commander's not dead.
Commander is in Forcefield.
The commander
sure,
and the
Edo.
officer are in the Forcefield.
It was the ex-owner that
oh,
died.
I thought they got
Yeah.
killed.
No, it was the
No named characters died. No,
the vault-
no, they were
no.
both in security
No, yeah.
fields.
Yeah.
So we're very
I
Forcefield,
will-
No named character died.
Jang and Edo.
It's Star Trek, no
I will redact all that then.
Yes.
I will speak with Captain Edo.
Mm-hmm,
And
An excellent idea, Captain.
Edo and
Yeah, I'll have a cup of tea.
J.A.
Without teabag, though.
JR are both, yes. No, they're both irritable and they're both kind of busy because they're trying to repair the station and get, deep scans and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, you can speak to them. Does anything particularly roleplay through? Or?
Half our crew are on the station helping. I'll just throw that one in there, Captain.
Have they found all the Jem'Hadar yet?
oh,
Obviously, there's lots of helping occurring, but is there anything you particularly wanted to roleplay through? Or?
I'm going to get down to writing my after-action report, because that's going to be a lot of paperwork, I imagine.
yes.
And I'm probably going to be staying in Medbay indefinitely while we've got this prisoner.
I was going to say, you're fine. I was going to say, but
Yeah, no, I'm fine. But I'm
he
going to
does
make
seem
Medbay my
to
new home.
wake. It's very hard to dose him. He will occasionally wake up and kind of flail and try to, unconsciously attack the
Got
thing.
those things. haven't
Yeah.
you?
You've probably got force fill around the bed.
Yeah.
You not have them continually keeping him unconscious.
Yeah, but the
That's his
dosing's very hard to
plan.
predict because his physiology is constantly changing.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Big stick.
It's the not overdose. Anesthesia is always the between the balance of not overdosing or and basically killing and keeping
Under and
unconscious.
overdosing, there's like a very thin line.
Exactly, and it's thinner when your patient
It's a belligerent
keeps them
Jem'Hadar.
half changeling.
And probably a moving line too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as people say.
Ask
Anyway.
for help when you have your arm between big containers of fluid. The warp cores, as I like to call them. They're on camera, aren't they? Yeah.
They are.
Warp.
It's a sealed pen.
No.
It's clean, I promise.
Okay.
Right, can you pass that to Dan? Because I probably shouldn't. Sorry, everyone watching at home.
Is there anything particularly you wanted to roleplay through?
Well, I was just going to go and talk with Edo, but the pressing matter is, Commander, am I fit for duty?
Generally.
I said as far as Jim's concerned, he's fine.
Yes, though I am a lieutenant commander, which does slightly beg the
No,
question.
you just got promoted.
No, it's not uncommon to approve
Okay,
that.
You say commander.
Fair
rather
point.
than
Yes, no,
lieutenant.
you're fit for duty, Sarah. Yes. Obviously, as I say, it was a very serious injury. If you do get any numbness or any dizziness, please do come back. But you're fine as far as I can test.
Thank you, Doctor.
Just don't do it again, please, sir.
Do you want my opinion? No. Anyway.
Right. So,
Give it to me anyway.
yes, please go over all the data you have on this.
I will.
And see that repair teams are deployed throughout Emissary Settlement. What's the damage to the Enterprise?
Minimal bit. Well, it would be fairly significant in battle, but outside of battle, it'll just take a little bit of repairing, but it'll be fine. Basically, it's a type of it's even on just the holographic matrix, so you can just kind of go and it'll kind of go and see what's up.
Right.
And that was us repairing the ship.
Yeah.
Cool.
It just takes power, and like I say, it's quite a difficult role in battle and stuff. But outside of battle,
That's when you're under time pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Before I go speak to Captain Edo of the station, I'm going to take Commander Zelvok aside.
Okay. I'll be in medbay.
I'm going to take you aside in medbay.
Okay. Captain?
Commander,
Yes, Captain.
you disobeyed my orders.
You'll have to give me a little bit more detail than that, Captain.
I agreed to fight Primus
Yes, Captain.
to give him the Enterprise.
Yes, Captain.
He won.
Are you suggesting that I disobeyed your orders to give the Jem'Hadar the Starship Enterprise, Captain?
That's correct.
Then yes, Captain, I disobeyed your orders.
I probably
For
can't
this, I'm
hear
afraid I'm going to have to confine you to quarters for 3 days.
That's fine, thank you.
Restrictions of duties, alone time. It will be solo confinement, I'm afraid.
Yes, Captain.
Additionally, in my absence, while I was incapacitated, you kept the Enterprise out of enemy hands.
Yes, Captain.
Congratulations, Commander. I will be recommending you for the Starfleet Medal of Valor.
Thank you, Captain.
Carry on.
Thank you, Captain. I'll go confine myself to quarters.
And Primus escapes because he's not there. No.
I'll have a word with my Deputy Chief Tactical Officer. Do
I'm
not let that
pretty
thing out of your sight.
He's a Jem'Hadar.
Yes, he goes invisible in a security field. I wonder where he's gone.
So yeah, I would either com Edo or go over there myself.
Sure.
No, I'm staying on the ship. I'm staying on the ship. I'm not going back over there. I knew what happened when I went over the last time. I'm staying on the ship. I'm going to go and sit on the bridge.
Yeah.
Right. There we go. Chair feels a little funny, or is it my back?
I'm analysing in the corner.
Little from column A,
I might,
little
if
from
I-
column B.
The cat will come by and rub your leg.
If I'm confined to quarters for 3 days,
Yes.
and I was due to go to Bajor for a bit of a gathering,
Yes.
can I invite them to the Enterprise?
Well, he said solitary
Solitary.
thing.
Oh, solitary. It was solitary. Never mind.
How long
I'll go
was that
after.
thing on? But it was for a week, wasn't it?
It was Dan to find, so
Yeah.
how long for Dan thought it went on for?
A week.
Okay.
I'll go after.
Yeah. 3 days is up. Beam me down to the surface.
Take it short leave.
Tricky, we're on shore leave.
I mean, one of the things I was toying with was I was thinking, like, just get off my ship and send you to Bajor for a week to do the thing with me. So I will speak with Captain Edu and basically explain to her, Commander Tovon's idea of, can I borrow your orb, please?
That was not my idea.
Tovon.
Oh, Tovon. I thought you said Zelvok.
I think we said visit.
In the background, I've got like a 3D holographic rendering of the airlock, but small, and I'm like in it, looking around, and I'm like winding it forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forward when Odo's appearing and. When he arrives, when he's not there, and when he arrives. So
Well, a bit Minority Report.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bit Doctor Strange.
I can just imagine
editing suite, but yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can just see the holographic airlock getting stuck on your head, so you're walking around the ship with this holographic airlock.
So I was imagining you were picking up like the Zelvok and
Oh,
Nearly did that. Little kid
I'll,
play with
I'll
dolls.
carry on with my analysis.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah.
She'll pass you. She's quite busy with the whole repairs and all that kind of thing. So she'll pass you, and she'll say that that's up to the Vedic in charge of the temple here, or the Kai if he disagrees.
Who's Kai?
Kai.
Not Win.
No.
Definitely.
It is one, but it's a different one. It's very no.
It's not a Parker
No,
either.
no one,
so.
no one from her family would have been allowed anywhere near anything like that.
Kai Ducat.
No.
Kai Ku.
She speaks in sort of 3 and then 7.
Change it. Too late.
Kai Hippox.
Cool. Don't.
Leave
it. The troubles with having Keith in the room. I'm joking. What was it? Hippox?
Yeah.
There you go. Weird religious people.
Very. So who's the Vedic on the station?
Vedic Ku.
That works.
You'll never become Kai.
No.
Just sounds silly. No, vote for him.
You've earned it. You've worked hard enough.
But
You've done the years. But your name just doesn't work.
It's not a Marvel comic where our alliteration enough people. Kaiku. Okay. Yes, you can contact them and they will consider it, but it'll take them a while because religion does not move quickly. They'll have to consult with the prophets, all that kind of thing.
And I would like to explain to them that that's the whole point why I would like to come and visit it or borrow it, because we would like to consult with the prophets too.
Mm-hmm.
And
The prophets teach us patience, child.
Sure, I'm older than you.
We're all children of the prophets.
Indeed.
Can we go and see it on the station?
But
Yes, can we go? Yeah, well, I was going to say, can we come and see it on the station?
a couple of days later,
You're still in your quarters.
That's fine. I'm joining.
I was going to say you're joining.
1001. 1002.
How does he seem the Vulcan's delighted? He's got 3 days. And
He's just sitting there quietly, just like. He's just happy. It's like, I've been alone so long, I've developed the emotion of joy.
I can just imagine beyond the sealed door of his quarters where there's a guard outside.
Yeah.
It's completely soundproofed.
Yeah.
He's throwing out his own rave.
Whatever it is Vulcans do to unwind when we're not.
Big fish, little fish, cardboard box.
they say they will allow you to borrow the Orb of the Emissary, but only under the protection of Commander Zelvok, who was the one that met with the said founder or changeling, and therefore seems the appropriate person to do so. So he can either visit the orb, or you may take it into the the wormhole. Because you met with him.
And the Bajorans like you, remember?
Yeah. And they feel, you know their pain. You're in an internment camp with them for 20 years. They also trust you more than the rest of them.
Yeah, you've got history.
Okay, so yeah, we'll wait for all the repairs to the ship and we'll assist with the repairs at the station, and the crew can actually get some shore leave while they're here, as far as like
I'm
So,
analysing. I'm in
there is-
nerdy heaven.
Yeah.
Primus is still on the ship. This is the one problem.
Can we put him inside a security field? Inside a security field. Inside a security field.
I should
In a
refer to
holographic little bubble of the ship that isn't quite connected.
like a long arm dangling out the side of the ship.
I would say you could transport him using the long-range transporter back to sort of Starfleet Medical.
Oh.
But
It might disrupt him.
I was going to say, you're not quite...
I don't think that's a good
you think
plan.
transporting him might be...
We're going to have to wait for a medevac to come.
So he's going to get there as a bucket in a bucket.
No,
You're not sure... Yeah, it's a bit risky.
He is the bucket.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna have to
He's
wait.
as or in.
Both.
Yeah, a bit of both.
We're going to have to wait for a medevac to come for him. I don't think he can be transported.
Well,
safely.
I was actually thinking that if we
But probably in those couple of days, someone will come that can take him.
Oh, right, there we go. Problem solved.
Yeah, we
I just
can't-
don't think we should take him into the
Whatever I
wormhole.
said, the
No.
USS.
well, I was thinking once we'd done the wormhole thing and spoken to the prophets, we take him back to Earth.
No, if one of the if
Depends on what they say.
little Nova class
if
will
med
turn up and...
if med transport will come for him, and we'll send him back on the medical ship so they can get better scans.
And
as
a
well,
berth.
better stuff.
Man, they wouldn't still be in service, would they?
Yeah, man. They're like little tough as nails, crappy med ships.
I was going to say since the war, I doubt any of the really old ones like the Oberth and Miranda or
I mean, the main important thing is to transfer him to Starfleet Medical on Earth. So I suspect probably whatever Starfleet thinks will do the swiftest transfer will be sent.
it would be an Olympic class.
Are they fast?
That's the one I was thinking of, yeah. I couldn't remember the name of it.
With the
Balls.
ball.
The ball.
Yeah.
I love that.
The ball.
Send him back with one of those. We can wait.
Someone had to do it. I was going to do it, but I didn't.
What was that?
Balls.
Oh.
Sorry.
Indeed, like the USS Pasteur, I think.
Yeah, the
Very
Pasteur with
Profits are
Commander
non-linear.
now,
They can wait
Captain
for us.
Picard.
Indeed, Captain Picard, although possibly
Beverly
not at this
Picard.
point.
Plus, maybe not, because alternate timelines.
Exactly.
Ah!
As in, the profits are non-linear. They can wait for us to.
Yeah, do you think a whole plot's
That's
going to be
true.
messed up with the TV Picard series coming
Have you
out?
seen the trailer?
Yeah, it looks alright.
Not
They've
yet.
got the,
It's not really a trailer.
vineyard.
It's not really a trailer. It's more
Yeah,
of a
it's like a
teasery
tease.
thing.
It's a tease.
The watering things annoyed me.
The what?
Well, if
Because
you're
they had
gonna
like
make
old
wine
style
in an
weird
old
industrial looking
traditional way.
things flying over the vineyard watering it. And that felt wrong.
Yeah.
Because it would either be like modern flashy ones or it would be like them doing it by hand. It just seems weird that they'd
or
have.
like medieval.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be really traditional or it'd
But
be
maybe
more
that's
modern.
what they think. Really
I did then reason that
traditional
What's
is.
wrong
that's
with
what I did reason.
sprinklers?
I did reason that it could then be traditional.
We did
Yeah.
reason
But still,
that.
de-invented the sprinkler.
Apparently, Brent Spiner is going to be in it as Data.
But he did.
Oh, sorry, as B4.
Yeah.
Oh God knows. Let's not worry about it till that
Anyway.
happens.
Anyway,
Not
sorry.
worrying about it
Yep.
till that happens.
But anyway, someone comes and picks up Primus. You've had fun
Marvellous.
keeping him secure.
Good luck.
You don't get to say goodbye because before he's out of the
Is it
flight
like
train.
one guy with like a little grab sled bed, and he's like, "Yeah, cool, stick him on, I'll take him away."
No, there's a
Like,
security team.
oh.
No, unsurprisingly, they've heard of him. So
Am I
With
gonna,
like,
if it's while he's still on,
Hannibal Lecter style.
it's
if
worse than solitary confinement because they do
if
it
it's
quite
while
quickly
he's doing
because they're a bit
solitary
concerned
confinement.
that the rest of his sort of faction and people might pour
Come
through the
for him,
wormhole and do
that
like
is
a
a
main
reasonable
attack
point,
on the
to be fair,
station.
that is a
So they
reasonable
do
point.
rush the transport out of him.
Does the station get reinforced?
Probably over time, but it did lose quite a lot of personnel, and there was quite
No,
a high
I mean,
crime
like
rate on the
like
visual.
ships.
If they're worried
If
that
we're
there's
worried
going to be
of a
attack.
Yeah, they were all pulled away by sort of various Breen Jem'Hadar
Convenient
attack.
things going on.
The Jem'Hadar and Vorta forces underneath the Breen command had sort of pulled them all out of position by doing distracting attacks nearby.
Yeah,
Even though
which is
I'm
why
angry.
when we arrived, they were just civilian ships.
Yeah, and the two ships that you destroyed were actually also confirmed to be fairly known Breen Jem'Hadar vessels.
Okay.
Cool.
So there's obviously been some collusion between Primus and them.
Yeah,
Green
'cause
Hadar.
Well, officially, the
Sure.
Green and the
Bradar.
Alpha Jem'Hadar were not working.
Jeden.
Be appropriate.
Officially, we didn't know the Breen were working with Primus's faction. But
Yeah.
it now sounds a lot like
Officially.
they are.
Did the Federation accidentally turn their back on the Breen again?
Basically.
Well, no,
yes.
they actually charged out to fight the Breen. That was the problem. The Primus was in the
It's like,
Oh.
aha!
In essence, you always have to turn your back on somebody because you've only got one face.
Never turn your front on a Breen.
If the full security detail comes to take Primus off
Yes,
and
yes.
take him off, I will make sure I record it for the commander in solitary confinement, just so he's certain that they did everything correct.
We'll live simulcast it into your quarters.
Just so you can make
No,
sure.
that would count as duties, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, true.
No, this is like
We
entertainment.
don't have to
Torture.
We don't-
I'm going to stand at the time of the transfer. I'm going to stand outside his quarters and go, ah, ah, ah!
Play some phaser things. Some
There's
phaser
no
noises.
response because you press your ear to the door and you hear.
No, I will.
You can imagine the glow stick.
Oh no, you've got
Glow sticks on his ears.
you've got a Tellarite organ, haven't you?
I have got a Tellarite organ, yeah.
I beg your pardon.
Is it or is it Tellarite organ? It was Tellarite, wasn't it?
I went for Tellarite organ, which basically...
Which organ? Kidney? Liver?
So I kind of
It's
imagined
so-
a Tellarite organ to look like part steam engine, part coral reef, and part cathedral.
And a little bit of bagpipe.
So you sort of organ harpsichord.
Well,
type.
that's the seed. You have to keep standing up.
Yeah. And you keep arguing with it, and that's part of the music. Damn, thing doesn't work properly.
Yeah, so you probably hear that.
I will make sure you are notified that he was taken off the ship with full security detail procedures observed at all times.
Yes, you as captain probably received quite a significant number of complaints about the noise because there is no noise blockage that can stop the Tellarite organ. And they can't go to him because normally that type of thing would go to the first officer, but it's about so it has to come to the captain.
No, it's fine. We can reconfigure the ship. We'll make it like a thermos. There'll be a vacuum seal.
Yeah, just extrude.
Somehow
his
it gets through
portion
the
of
vacuum.
Anyway,
It's
Oh, there's
it's slightly psychic.
There's a light element that
comes to your brain.
Well, because of your tuning your mind meld into it.
psychic resonance.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's like pumping out
Anyway.
across Deep Space Nine.
one day we will finish this mission. One day.
Anyway,
It's not this day.
so you transferred off the ship.
We're
you
briefly
get.
going into the wormhole.
You have to go and collect the emissaries thing if you want to take it, or it's up to you really. If you want to go and visit and have a vision, or if you want to leave and.
We'll take it to the wormhole.
I contacted
Why not?
Starfleet Command and got the permission and stuff.
Look at that. Yeah.
When you come out of your quarters, you get a medal pinned to you.
We'll do that roll later. Actually, we'll see if they agree.
Okay.
Yeah, let's face it, a lot of people die.
We'll do the rolling system, see if that.
Yes, but
they
it
agree with
also
the
saved a lot of
recommendation.
people.
Well, we'll see if they agree with that. That's
I was
where the
gonna
roll
say,
comes
but
in.
all of them could have died.
Indeed. Or none of them could have
Died.
No, I'm pretty sure that option was one person would have died.
yeah.
Which I did.
Also, when
Into the
But
many.
for some reason, you managed to get back on the ship. So,
I do feel just if we are going to roll for that in the not too distant future, when you receive my full medical report of all the different things that have gone on, there will probably be quite a large section that points out that unless the Lieutenant Commander had returned your body at that instant, the very strong likelihood would have been that you would have been stayed dead.
You would have been stayed dead. That's the best medical term.
You would have been stayed dead.
Boom.
Yes, probably more coherent than I'm feeling today.
That's going to be
but
the
you know,
subtitle of
sort
this
of
episode.
stay dead.
I was
would have
am I
been
allowed
stayed
to read
dead.
that particular report if it's about me?
Oh, it's your own
Why not?
medical
You're the captain.
report.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
your
your
own medical report.
It's your
You're
information.
definitely-
You're
You're
entitled
allowed
to
to
it.
read your
Yeah,
own
you can
medical
definitely read
report.
your own medical
Okay.
report.
Yeah.
Even if it's mildly traumatic.
See,
Well, you could talk to the council if they recommend you reading it. But you definitely can.
I, however, will never know that. Because it's your medical report and I'm not
Your
allowed to read it.
information.
Well, unless he sends it to you.
Yeah,
Because you
but
can
he's not
extend
going to
your
do that, is
information.
he?
Chrono probably tell you.
Did we get an orb experience in the wormhole?
Yes. So I was going to go through that briefly.
It's not a shortcut, Dan.
I was trying. I thought I was helping.
No, that's fine. We should finish.
Can you
discussing.
transport orbs or do you have to walk them everywhere?
Oh, you got to
Don't walk.
You got to walk your
Yeah,
own.
Yeah, you definitely
beam.
don't-
You
you
can't
don't
beam
beam
an orb.
No.
Yeah, that would end badly. Probably for your transporter. Yes, no.
Tear a
Probably killed a
hole.
bunch of Kardashians trying to do that. Because they almost certainly
There's
tried.
only one on the ship.
Yeah, every time someone talks about beaming an orb, a Kardashian nearby dies.
Yeah. Like the opposite of a bell and angels with their wings.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to be thoroughly scanning it. We're going to put it in a special... Should we have it on the bridge or should we put it in a special containment area?
On the bridge.
Like the astrogation lab. So I can super scan it as we go. They've been probably heavily scanned by now, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried. I've got loads of... I pulled up the library...
So yeah, I'm ignoring about the bridge because it's the bridge, and we kind of need that for ship operations. But given what's likely to happen with it, then not going to be much we can do
You'll
anyway.
know that it's under your care, so whatever you are willing to happen will happen with it. However, you know from Bajoran stuff enough, they wouldn't want it to be scanned. They wouldn't want it to be in the open anywhere. It was under your care. It should only be probably in your presence because all experiences are for you alone and no one else should
I'll
be there.
take it to my quarters then.
So it is entirely...
Does it come with like a couple of priests?
No. They put it in your care, so no.
Wow. Yeah. It'll be in my quarters then.
But yes, no, again,
Okay.
scanning is normally not something
With some
that...
candles and like meditation stuff going on.
I already have that set up.
No, that's what I mean. It's a good place to do it. You know, you're...
I mean, you can ignore them because, like I say, it's under you, but that's what the Bajorans would want.
I'd feel that Zelvok would be quite respectful to the Bajoran culture, given their histories.
Okay, so as you pass through, you do get an experience. It's the traditional heartbeat on in the background. It's of scenes previous to your life.
Okay.
So it's probably
White flash of light.
because of recent relevance. The most recent scene is probably you and Odo and Primus in the airlock, and they'll be like,
It's adversarial.
yes,
Sorry.
Yes.
The Zelvok.
Really hope not.
No.
I assume the captain provided me with a list of questions he wanted answered.
Yes, I did.
I did. No, I would have beforehand, because we've had a couple of days, I would have spoken, because they said you were going to have it and all that kind of thing. I would have been like, why has Odo come at that time? How did they know to appear at that moment? What temporal things are going on? Why have they advised them not to interfere? You know, where are you all? Why don't you come and help us? Can't you get rid of these violate people? Or, you know, the dodgy Jem'Hadar, you know, and then there would be like 100 stupid questions.
There would be definitely one question for me, which is, can you return both the Changeling and the Jem'Hadar to their states before they were merged?
Oh, Primus. Yeah.
This is why I wanted them on the ship still.
so you appear in the airlock at the start.
I won't ask
and-
stupid questions because Kren respects mysticism of different cultures.
I don't.
I know you do.
Odo speaks and says, "It is a Vulcan." And then Primus, who was unconscious on the floor, says, "But of Bajor."
That's cool.
Oh.
And then,
We're never going to hear the end of that.
yeah, you'll go back to like when you're in the internment camp, like 30 years ago, or a bit longer, and they'll be like young Captain Edo, who was like the young sort of bulgy kind of person that was in the same internment camp as you. It's like, what does it want? And like a Dacian guard will say, "Why is it here?"
Well, I'll first of all I'll ask the captain's question.
You should probably explain why you're there first.
Leave him to it.
Okay, sorry.
I come seeking answers to questions relevant to our time and place.
Backseat vision.
The Primus, the Jem'Hadar known as the Primus, is one with a changeling. Can the two be separated back to their original states before they would join together?
This is the good Dacian guard again. Yes, they will be separated.
Can this be done linear to our timeline? Like now?
Why are you here? This is Ido again.
I'm not sure.
and it'll switch, and it'll be you argued with your parents on some occasions, didn't you? Because they want you to teach you go into politics, from what I remember.
Yeah.
So it'll be like that argument that you had, where like a disagreement when you're sort of young.
But Vulcan style.
Yeah.
That is illogical.
back on your home colony, whatever. I can't remember the name of it.
Cestus Prime.
Yeah.
No, Mum, you just don't understand what logic I'm.
You don't understand my logic.
Are you here for yourself?
No. I'm here for others who need help. Why have the changelings left?
Changelings? You mean the founders?
Yes.
They've not left. The founders work for others, as you do.
Who do the founders work for?
Everybody. In the same way that we work for everybody.
Why do they hold a policy of non-interference?
Do you think your actions help? Or do you think sometimes your inaction may help more? Your father looking very grim.
My actions help.
Your inactions would help more on some occasions. Logically.
That would depend on the situation.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you're back in the airlock. And that is how it is for the founders, too. Their situation is their own. And they are trying to help.
Can you help us to separate the changeling and the Jem'Hadar?
Yes, we shall help. As the founders help. There's Primus again on the floor.
I see. That does seem logical from a certain point of view. What were the other questions?
Why did he appear then?
Why did Odo take that opportunity to appear then?
He was helping others.
Surely he would have been helping by preventing the deaths of many by intervening sooner.
Deaths are a part of life. Sometimes deaths help. Back to the internment camp, and young Udo is saying, the needs of the many sometimes require the sacrifice of the one.
How can we help the one?
By helping the many.
We can help the many by helping the one?
That would seem logical.
God, seriously going.
I think we'll go white out at that point.
There's one more thing. It's like you haven't asked if Captain Sisko's around.
You didn't see Cisco, but I don't know if you ever met Cisco.
No, I've never met Cisco.
I didn't think you would. So. Then we'll fade out to white there.
That was an experience.
Hopefully that
That's
was
cool.
equally useful as any other orbit prints.
Absolutely.
Yeah, about right.
I'll start writing it all down very quickly before I forget.
Fair enough.
But you're a Vulcan.
I'm a troubled Vulcan.
But of Bajor.
Well, that's where I want to retire. Sorry?
The Vulcan's perfect memories, is that one of the many things Spock said that most probably
No,
were?
that's me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Kardashians claim to have eidetic memories.
Spock just thinks he's perfect.
They do have eidetic.
I read it earlier on. They do.
A lot of Vulcans seem to have trained their souls for that.
For good memories. Right, so, unless there's anything else, you've returned the orb, I assume?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
They didn't like you enough, you can keep it.
There was one last thing I wanted to do, actually.
Okay.
You obviously get to go and have your parties and that kind of things, because you've got another 4 days after this of shore leave before you take your crew and things on board.
I had better make sure my daughter's still speaking to me.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
At some juncture.
At some point they will meet up with you.
Well, basically, as soon as I can be excused, we've probably when Primus is off the ship. And ideally in warp somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the next chance I'm going to get to actually go off the ship.
So, I don't know if you go around the museum again with...
No. We do the better idea, which is we go for a ton of ice cream.
Of course.
Because it was ice cream on my museum, and as it turned out, ice cream would probably have been a better call. But actually, I suppose not, then we could have been kept swept up on that. Either way, we'll go for ice cream. She deserves ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. You will at some point have had a very complaining, slightly elderly, middle-aged Ferengi in your bar who's complaining that the Federation blew up the station, which has never happened previously. So obviously they're getting worse. He's never had them thrown out into space before.
It's Ferengi. They
Sign of the times.
They complain a lot.
Anyway, yeah, having dinner with, your ex-husband and your daughter.
Yes.
And he's like...
I should have said I'm sorry a lot.
I've found a new pulsar.
I'm very sorry.
This one's better than the old one.
Don't be ridiculous. Nothing
Pulsar went out.
We all know
That was quite an experience. And she's called Karen, yes?
Yes.
We're sure on this one,
yeah.
right? Okay. Well, that was quite an experience, Dia says.
No, it wasn't. It was a pretty horrible one.
Uh,
We're all still alright, though.
Yeah, well, we got through this time. Thanks to you, mainly. And the Enterprise crew.
Well, yeah. But if it hadn't been for us, they probably wouldn't have been here, so...
Karen's got something to ask you.
What's up, little one?
Could... Dad station's alright and everything, and it's fun, but... I mean, could I come and live with you on the Enterprise? Because I hear that it's really exciting, the holographic ship and the classes and the thing, and it doesn't have to be for that long, but, just for a few months maybe, or... I mean, obviously I do want to live with Dad sometimes, but... And I know you say the space stations are safer, but I mean, this is...
Proof positive that space stations are not safer. Yes, all right. Yes, okay. I'm eating my own words here. I always said you
ice
could...
cream.
And ice cream. I always said you could if you wanted, sweetheart. I'll have to double check it all with the captain, but I'm sure it's not a problem.
Just for a little while, if that's all right.
Let's say we're taking aboard other families now, so I can't think why you can't. If that's what you want to do.
Right. So one last decision.
Yeah, no, as long as there isn't any major problems raised by anyone else.
No. Are you taking the crew and things on board? Because that was what you came here to do.
Yes,
Yeah,
we should do the bloody objective.
There was some objections previously to the
Well,
old
no,
idea.
this has mostly proved that stations are not any safer than ships.
So I can say no one on the Enterprise died at all, apart from the people you sent to attack the station.
We're doing that. Let's do that. And we've mostly maintained relations with Bajor.
Like I said, you can ignore directives. I mean, that's why the prime directive's there. Just to remind you that there are some you just got to ignore every time.
Oh yeah. Like
the Prime Directive.
Exactly.
Every other episode.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like, you've gone, a ship, fire. Oh, I suppose we'll talk to them first. Oh, an airlock, I'm going to open it and fire.
No, maintain relations with Bajor. We successfully negotiated borrowing an orb.
That's true, yeah,
that's positive.
And we
to be
defended
fair,
their
and brought it back.
space station.
And we got our ship
And we brought it back.
And we got the ship in a way of something that was going to crash into their space station.
That's very true.
That probably helped.
So now you have families and civilians randomly wondering about your ship getting in the way.
It's the Enterprise, that's what they're there for. You can have the whole episode around it.
Right. So, we'll do the reputation-y thing.
Oh, yes.
Your daughter's not named Wesley, is she?
No.
And remind people that they can change things.
She's very
Well, they
bright.
can change things between
It will be
sessions if
fine.
you really wanted, but I will remind you all you can change things between.
I need to change one of my talents, but I haven't had a chance to actually go and look because, though I like the name of the one that's Combat Medic, the fact that it lets me diagnose additional people has not really been something that I think we're going to get much use out of because mostly it's either been one very sick casualty or lots of people with decompression sickness, which I didn't really need multiple successes to diagnose. 'Cause
Yeah. You're like,
just,
oh, you all got flushed out.
yeah, we've been most of them out of space, so I
Yeah.
might change that one, but I need to actually look. So that might be the beginning of
Whereas
next
I
time.
haven't used any of mine.
What? Talent.
Oh, talents. I've used one of mine,
There you go.
which was the Yushan.
You can change that one if you decide not to keep the Shantara and then
That's
as
worked out
random.
well for you, I felt.
I think I've used everything apart from cultured so far. But I'm not getting rid of it because if I get the opportunity to talk at length on a subject, I bloody well will.
Exactly. So let's do the reputation thing. I have to remind myself exactly how
Yes.
this works.
We get positives and negatives.
Indeed. So we'll do the number of positives and negatives. So let's do Sam first.
Yep.
To your immediate left.
Okay,
Do you think we acted in accordance with your orders and directives? I think so.
I think
Yes.
Did you challenge a negative? Did you prevent any combat?
That'd be a big no for me.
Didn't you like distract
I did
some of the
distract some
Jem'Hadar and stuff?
Jem'Hadar and things and try and save my small amount of civilians.
You
but-
did, but that's not
Not
preventing combat. You did, I
extensively,
think,
no.
distract them by telling them there's probably a fight out there.
Yeah, I
which is
did.
not preventing
No,
combat.
not
Yeah.
really.
Putting them in direction of more
I
combat.
don't think any person under your command were killed, which
No,
probably
no,
counts.
no person under my
You
command.
didn't resort to lethal force at any point.
No, I
This is
didn't.
not
You
going
didn't
well.
establish an alliance with an enemy.
No, I didn't establish any alliances with any enemies.
You probably directly contributed to saving lives.
Yep.
At least once, so we'll go with once for that, I think.
Yeah. The other ones were NPCs, so
Acted above and beyond the
No.
call of duty. Taking unnecessary risks in the quarter. I don't think you took any
No.
unnecessary risks, particularly. So that's 2 positives.
Yep. Yay, I can't remember how this
No, I have
works.
to, no, I have to remember how it works. That is the main problem with what I'm saying. Right.
That's the success. That's the difficulty, isn't it?
No, the number of negatives is the difficulty, and the number I think dice is the positives.
Ah.
Equal number of positive influences. So roll number of d20 is equal to the positive influences, and each that rolls equal or less to on the character reputation scoring a success.
So I rolled 2 dice.
Yep.
What's my reputation?
It should be recorded on the back of the character sheet, hopefully.
I might have had a bit of an accident and spilled tea.
13.
13. So I rolled 2 and they need to be under 13.
Then there's also something to do with rank privilege, but this doesn't seem to be in the same location, cunningly.
Should I just roll these dice for now?
Yes, let me just double check it's not on my very handy thingy sheet.
I like the fact that the short disciplinary actions include short-term detention, which has already happened.
I've already had my in-character punishment.
Well, not the official one.
He's a captain. How official? More official do you
And I
want?
still don't think confining a Vulcan to quarters by themselves really should be listed as a punishment.
So, if the number of successes scored is less than the
Lovely
number of
weekend off.
negative
Particularly a
influence,
Indeed, so
holographic
it's only gonna
ship
go
where
up.
it could look
Yeah.
anything like they want it to on the inside anyway.
unless you don't roll any successes.
Yes.
I
Oh,
rolled...
2 successes.
No, that's a 19, I think.
Yes, but you rolled 2 successes.
But well, I've got a special one, is that?
Yeah, it's basically because the actual, the foci thing you can roll under to get 2 successes
your
defined by
rank.
your rank privilege, which I
Yeah.
can't find immediately.
probably
it's
one.
It's definitely at least one.
It is one. I
So
think
it
an
goes up by
ensign is
2.
one.
Indeed.
Yes, to 15.
So 15.
Ooh.
You've got to be careful because you might get promoted.
Indeed.
I'm already
There's
a chief
another section
medical
in the
Can't you
officer.
decline promotion?
I'm already a
course
chief
you can.
medical officer. I'm not that
Should a character have a reputation of 15 or higher, and it would increase further, then the captain, or rather the player whose character is the commanding officer, or the games master may offer them promotion instead of an increase in reputation. If this promotion is accepted, the character's rank increases, representing how they are now faced with a new set of expectations and responsibilities.
Honestly, my character is not particularly that bothered about her rank because being chief medical officer is the thing that's important to her.
Sure.
So,
But
she will
You
not be that
cannot
bothered
be
on those
promoted
other-
to captain in this way.
But that's good.
Only the Admiralty can offer such a promotion, which would come with its own command or another posting elsewhere.
Yes, you can now offer
Essentially
Sam a
taking
promotion.
character.
Okay.
I am fine at the moment.
Or Kren, so speaking.
Just,
You can offer Sam a promotion if you'd like, but I
I
don't
was
think
going
it's
to say,
binding.
does Sam want a promotion?
No, Sam is good.
I don't think many militaries would recognise it, unfortunately.
No.
Well, I was thinking maybe promotion in the hospital or whatever.
No, I'm fine.
You're
Again,
now director of whatever you do.
Medical stuff.
right.
Your chief.
I was going to say, no, joking aside though,
Yeah.
in terms of work at work, I am chief of a particular area.
Yay!
You are in chief indeed.
I am chief of me.
Chief
and
of me.
occasionally underlings, but
Underlings.
only
Underlings.
transit.
Oh, I feel sorry for them already. You referred to them.
That's
They're
one up
mostly
from
stu-
minions.
They're mostly students.
They're not henchmen, though.
Yeah, no, they're
Cronies.
mostly.
They're not. Yeah,
no, they're mostly students. Like I don't get trusted with proper people.
proper people.
No.
Students are proper people.
Yeah, they are. But they don't get paid to be there.
Oh, you
yeah,
need to
no,
volunteer to be there.
I am
So-
mostly chief of me, basically.
Oh, if they volunteered to be there, then
Aha, I have recorded
Let's
my
take
note.
that one
Wonderful.
out of the edit.
It is my note. Right.
No,
No,
it's all
fine.
part of the fun.
I
We're talking about rank.
Indeed. Keith,
yes.
I think you acted in accordance with orders and directives? Yes?
You were about to give up the ship to somebody over a fist fight.
That's not under directive, don't give up the ship.
Oh yeah.
So
Yes.
It does say orders. I'm sure they do say don't give the ship to anyone.
general order 4, don't
Yeah.
give your ship away to enemy powers. But no,
I don't think you prevented combat, however.
you sort of,
Openly invited.
Right.
You did by being shit. There wasn't really combat.
I was going to say,
You got beaten.
no, there wasn't. No, that was not combat. Combat is two-way.
that was a massacre. That's different.
I attempted to by basically going, "You will fight me," instead of blowing up the station. And he,
He was kind of going to do
But
it.
you actually engaged in combat to do it.
Yeah, but that was not preventing combat. There's directing, contributing, saving lives later. That probably more counts for
Okay.
that. So, person under your commander killed. I don't think anyone was
No.
killed while you were in command.
No. No. It was all.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think
I'm gonna be first
everyone was
officer
only
after
killed
this.
after you were stabbed repeatedly, therefore we're no
that's
longer
true. I was
command.
dead. I was dead.
Yeah, you were dead. Yeah. And then he's in charge, and suddenly everyone started getting killed. It was like.
You didn't resort to lethal force that cause because you were challenged to it and it
Yeah.
was saving lives. So I think that's
Okay.
fair.
So is that two? Is it? Or
That's just not negative.
okay, not negative.
Did you didn't establish an alliance with an enemy?
Give them the ship.
Well, it's not really a
Not really
lie.
That's not
alliance,
alliance, no.
But who took what's his face around the Jem'Hadar on the ship?
That wasn't me either.
Mostly Pete.
Okay, fair enough. That was Tovon. That was kind of making an alliance with a possible enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Jackie contributed to saving lives, I'd say, absolutely, by offering herself to
Yeah.
distraction.
Yeah.
Acted above and beyond the call of duty, I'd say, absolutely.
Yeah.
You died.
Taking unnecessary risks.
I am
say-
a Starfleet captain.
Probably did take a few unnecessary risks, so I'm going to say that's going to be a negative.
Risks come with the jar.
So you get 3 dice against a difficulty of 1,
Okay.
and I can't find your privilege anywhere.
Because I
It's like
kept
3 or 4, isn't it?
You're privileged.
I can't remember where it is in the book. It's somewhere random.
Is it under my current reputation?
No.
Yes, that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
main
yeah,
difficulty.
yeah.
All right.
What's your current
3. My current reputation is 14. I rolled 9, 11, and 12.
Wonderful, that needs to indicate what your privilege is, because it's not going to
You
be
are
those numbers.
promoted to Admiral.
So I go up by
2.
2.
Your reputation increases by 2.
16.
Right, Dan.
Admiral.
Well, damn.
Yes, you'll be offered your own command. They just really like it at the moment. I don't think they're quite at the stage they'll offer you admiralty because it's probably a bit early.
Bit early, Craig. You've only sort of...
Acted in accordance with orders and directives. I think,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you go against the captain.
Whose orders?
Oh, orders, yes, that's a good point. You did act against the orders, so... yeah, we won't do
Sorry,
that.
Dan.
Oh.
That's a good point. You didn't challenge a directive, I don't think. You did mostly maintain relations with Bajor because they
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prevented combat? I don't think that happened at any point.
No, never. Here you go. Captain is privilege 4, Commander 3,
Where the hell is that?
140.
Oh, it's there under that
Rank and
section.
reputation table.
It's under that section of
Yeah.
things. I forget that that's duplicated. Anyway.
So, yeah.
Okay. Right.
Right.
Why do you not have any positives? Anyway,
He will have some.
Will he fail instantly and lose a point of privilege, reputation, I assume?
Anyway, personnel under your command were killed. Now, this is difficult because it's
multiple.
Yes.
It's one per main character. It's one per main or supporting character, which, strictly speaking, is none. But I feel that there should be a couple of points in there. There was significant loss of life on the assault on the station. So I should also.
But we also saved the station from being blown up. Just wanna...
It's whenever people are killed, even if it was preventable or at best. It's just that there was.
Okay.
It's about a reputation within Starfleet. They never look good if lots of people dying. No matter even if there's no way of avoiding it, they just don't like it when lots of people die. It's just.
Well, they must have really hated the war.
Yeah. A lot of people lost their reputations in the war. Yeah. Anyway. So we'll say 1 for that, I think, because there was just lots of people that were not main or supporting characters died. Although he did also die, but he wasn't on duty command at the time. So yeah. Anyway, resorted to lethal force without cause. Now that's arguable.
Oh, sorry, say that again.
Resorted to lethal force without cause.
You do that every episode.
I mean, no. The previous guy was holding a phaser at me. And
he was pointing at the floor.
We know those ships were.
Oh yeah,
were
they're Jem'Hadar. It's not without cause.
We basically gave him the option.
It's Primus in the airlock that would be my main question, because you didn't try stunning him. You just went high super kill button.
But he did have medical.
Because he had exhibited signs of being nigh unstoppable.
Yeah, and we'd blown up 2 ships, had a hand-to-hand combat, loads of other fighting.
And he was provided with the data from my medical scan suggesting he was not a normal Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, but you still don't know if it would have been stunnable.
Yeah.
I think that was probably a little without causing.
It may have been I was goading him on.
I think it was fair enough given the high intensity of the situation, the fact that he seemed to be indestructible, because our valiant and combat experienced captain got killed in 1 blow, and he's a veteran.
Two blows. I used all my skills.
So I had to use what I could, because otherwise I was going to end up like my captain.
Right. I think you directly contributed to saving lives.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you beamed all those people in to stand in the way of the other people.
Result.
Yes, you definitely acted above and beyond the call of duty, and I would definitely say you took unnecessary risks.
Yes.
So difficulty 2 dice, and your current reputation,
which is only 12 apparently.
Yes, and your
1 success.
So your reputation goes down by 1.
Oh well.
Could have been worse.
Choose character plus an additional 1 for each die that did not score any successes.
Oh, is it?
And by a further 1 for each die that rolled within the range of numbers indicated for the character's rank responsibilities.
So what does that mean?
I think it's still just 1.
I think it's
responsibility. What are you? Commander, 18 to 20.
So not quite.
No. If that had been an 18 rather than a 17,
but
you would have lost 2.
You said 1 for each dice that doesn't roll a success there, yeah?
Yeah, he's got 1 success.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so fail and another.
Yeah.
And if that had been an 18, it would have been 3.
So it's by 2,
2 reputation.
Oh. I forgot it had a weird, complicated thing.
But it's only with Starfleet Command, and we know they're weird anyway. We still like them.
Yeah, it's just your reputation in Starfleet.
It's a slightly confusing paragraph to read as well.
So what happens when a character's as a commander there? What happens if his reputation drops to, say, 5 or 6?
That's fine. If it's hit 0, disciplinary action occurs. 5 or 6, it just means that it looks a bit...
0 to 4, their future in Starfleet is in question.
Yeah.
They're viewed as dangerously prone to disobedience, insubordination, and needless recklessness.
But we were talking about this the other night. Where would Worf have ended up for most of Next Gen at different points?
In Deep Space Nine, they had that whole tribunal thing where he
exactly.
But even when he was on the Enterprise, he randomly went AWOL to murder
every episode, there's something going on. He goes, fire phasers! And they're like, no, okay, we'll talk to them first. And then the next episode, fire phasers! No. That's why you have a Klingon on board. Because one day you're going to go, do it. And he'll be like, oh.
No, because maybe he'd just go, fire phasers! And I go, okay. I was like, really? Really? I've told you 200 times to fire phasers. I haven't even charged them this time.
It's been so long, I've forgotten which button the phasers is. Phasers is?
I don't even know anymore.
Oh, but fire them at 25% yield.
Yeah.
That was always Riker. Riker would always specify a percentage yield because he didn't want to hurt anyone. Yeah. It's like, come on, their shields are what, 80%?
Yeah. Just knock yourself out.
Just do it.
Yeah, as far as I could tell,
but your reputation's still above 10, isn't it?
It's 10.
Yeah, record is solid. Performance is satisfactory. See, that's exactly what you'd want.
Solid performance is satisfactory.
But Wolf did get basically a telling
so
off
Pete,
for going able
I think
to
you're acting in
murder
accordance with orders and directives, as far as I remember.
Another nation.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think you challenged a directive.
No, you almost got made Chancellor.
It's more of a
but
specific thing that would have
that's
given you a
still on
value
Starfleet.
point. So, did you prevent combat?
Did I prevent combat? Not like
I remember.
actively.
I didn't hit anyone.
Yeah, I didn't
He threw
actually.
a fucking grenade at a bunch of people.
That was a distraction.
You threw it in his face.
That wasn't a combat. I
But-
threw a distraction and saved.
But anyway,
it.
that was just not preventing
someone.
combat.
I
No,
didn't
he
prevent combat.
Personnel in your command were killed. I don't think you were briefly in command and no one was killed.
No.
You saved my body.
He didn't die.
You didn't save my life. You saved my body.
That's what I say. You did resort.
I did both.
You did resort to lethal force, but I think it was with a cause because it's very hard to make an overloading phaser not lethal,
Yeah.
and you only did it as mainly as a distraction. I think that's fair. I don't think at any point you went to lethal violence.
No.
You established an alliance with an enemy. Well, I think so because again, you made friends with the captain of the.
Yeah. I mean, to be
ship.
fair, Primus had got himself knocked out by that point.
I
so
say
he
you
was
directly
leaning
contributed to
towards
saving
creating
lives, definitely.
Yeah.
Because you being all those people aboard, and acted above and beyond the call duty, definitely with the jumping in and the throwing things.
Yeah.
I think you probably did take unnecessary risks.
Yeah, I think I did.
So you got 4 against difficulty of 1. Enjoy.
Okay.
I don't know what your current reputation is.
Current reputation is 13.
Wow.
How come my reputation was so low?
You didn't roll as well last time,
Bad last time.
and you'd also started a fight. I think
I
last
was
time.
going to say. Ooh.
So
Is that what's that?
2.
2, 3, 4.
So what's your
And
privilege?
my privilege
Lieutenant
is
Commander.
2. So I've got 2, 3, 4.
So 3 over the top. So
Yeah.
So
So
you're
16.
16. You can also promote him if you'd like. You can just have all commanders. Never happened to the series?
Promote him off the ship.
You're now commander of a small space station.
Hang on. Right, I think then we're done.
Cool.
I was going
Again, I'm
to
not entirely sure about the
does-
point of that.
does he-
Particularly,
does
it's
he-
quite complicated, but
Does he
The
only,
reputation stuff.
yeah.
It does feel a little bit too mechanical for something that you could do.
But it's very
Hi.
mechanical with very little mechanical after effects. It's like getting mechanical to do it,
Yeah.
and then it does.
And,
Oh, some vaguely
and if you
things.
want to,
Yeah.
do some stuff.
Well,
It just basically seems to me to reinforce the kind of game.
Star
That is-
Trek.
Yeah,
yes.
but
This is a Starfleet Star Trek
But
game.
it then doesn't say you now have a penalty because you're lower. It says, hey, you're seen as a bit reckless.
Yeah.
And it's a narrative thing and part of the story. I get that. And that's
Well,
cool.
It's then now down to
It's
Adam.
yes, exactly. To go,
It's like
why?
you've been a bit reckless
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you could get to the point where you're reckless. So we could have something coming along and be like, oh, you're first officer.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. The Admiral goes, I'm not sure about your first officer.
I was going to say
and that kind of...
it could end up
You have
making problems for me.
But like I say, what I find weird is that there are lots of narrative mechanical. It's very mechanical, but then the narrative mechanical stuff kicks in. Like I could start with an extra point of threat for everybody that has a reputation below 10 or something. You know, there are like obvious things that there are systems that it could interact with that it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
See,
the whole points and dice and stuff.
I'm still, though I've rolled really well, I'm still not that keen on the randomness element.
That's also a bit weird.
Because it just seems if someone's done a load of really good stuff and then rolls really badly,
Well,
Yeah.
you still lose reputation.
they still lose reputation.
Does that represent, though, that maybe there's a load of other good stuff going on in the Federation
Or
and you're
a bit of a
outshone by someone else at the
miscommunication,
time?
Someone else is more, personable.
I think that's supposed to
bad
represent
luck
the
about the message getting
random
out,
prejudice and
I
other
guess.
stuff that still exists a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and politics and things.
Yeah.
And also
It's
the fact
very an
that
abstracted
it's
version
easier
thereof.
to get better as you get
And,
better.
and clearly you
The
can't.
positive reinforcement I also
Which
find
I
a bit
don't like.
weird. but-
I don't like positive and negative reinforcement and stuff like that because it's now harder for Dan to get more,
Yeah.
but easier for me to get more, which makes
Yeah.
no sense.
But if that number goes up, you're like, oh, my number's now 16.
Yeah.
I'm getting promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I can't. It's going to be
It's hard
hard for
for you
me
to
to
roll.
fail.
I don't know. If you
well.
just kill a bunch of people and
that's
You'll be like, oh, you got 2 negatives. Unless I don't do anything good
Mhm.
and I get 1 die, and then I can't pass.
Yeah.
And therefore you go, oh, you failed, and there's another miss. Then you lose 2.
I suppose it also gives you the.
You are describing a Cardassian-ness.
It gives you the leeway to do that. You can become like an absolutely, perfect example and be sitting at like 25 reputation as a lieutenant commander, but there's no commander spots open on the ship. So you're itching.
Oh, yeah.
Itching for that
Yeah,
promotion.
yeah, sure.
And you can either stay on the crew. I mean, this is the Enterprise, so it could transfer people off
Yeah.
to other things.
Like Riker.
Well, no.
Well, you
this
could
is
end up
the-
like
no,
Riker.
Exactly. Riker was offered
this is the
captaincies all the time, wasn't he?
Yes, this is the Enterprise. This is the best. This is the flagship.
Yes.
You've got to be damn good to be here in the first place.
Yeah. So why is he on board?
Oh.
He was, but his time here hasn't necessarily been good for him.
It's been fine. It's been satisfactory. It's been fine.
10 is fine. 10 is fine. That's what you start off at.
Yeah.
You just got to be careful.
Yeah.
The possibility of reinforcement.
It gives us more of an example of what happens when you let me go and do things by myself.
Maybe we should not do that.
Look,
I
we
think
should
the
know.
captain should stay on the ship.
We all know this clearly. Adam needs to realise this as well, but he's the GM, so he can't not send you off on your own if you decide to go off on your own.
I haven't actually.
I'm joking. Anyway, no, that was cool.
Zelvok,
the
I need you to run a away mission to the surface of that star.
Well, we have we're a bit. Oh no, we're not. We're not earlier.
No, not until we're
a bit later. I was going to talk about Starship Combat, but I'll leave that for another time.
Yeah, that's a conversation I'd have as well, but another time.
I really like the Starship Combat. Anyway.
Well, unless there is anything else,
Yep.
It's going to be full Commander Kren,
Oh,
I think,
alright.
because Chief Medical Officer, he saved a lot of lives.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, Commander Tovon. There are currently no spots available for your command.
That's fine. I've got loads of data. I'm very happy.
I can forward your personnel file to Starfleet, and if there are any first officer posts on any starships in the sector.
Thank you, Captain. But I think being on board the Enterprise will provide me with all the opportunities I need,
Good to hear that.
and I won't want to let you die.
Again. Your concern is touching. Thank you, Commander.
Right.
End credits.
Cool. Have you got any ending spiel?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much for watching. Please, I was enjoying the character. Please check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Check out our Discord. Check out our Patreon. Check out our previous shows, and also go and check out our friends and sponsors of the channel, the Thornless Rose, with the awesome D20 dice bag, which I managed to put together. And there's a video of me putting it together at high speed on the Garblag Tabletop Gaming Community Facebook group, which there's a link for below.
Not getting it wrong at all.
Shh. I admit to that in the video.
Yes, yeah, he does.
I had a lot of fun doing it. I have to admit, the first 20 minutes were I was getting back in the feel of like my tailoring skills, and then I got into the flow of it, and you'll see. But anyway, yeah.
Is that
It's
why
really
you
cool.
play a Cardassian, so you can practice your tailoring skills?
Exactly. So yes, also check out Grimdark on the 15th of June, our free 4-page dark fantasy RPG, which everyone will be able to get on the Patreon for free from the 15th of June. Cool. And that's it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much for watching Star Trek Morpheus.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.